Football Alabama after the game has you completely covered. Jon Holder with you on a Football Friday night. Coming up at about 10 o'clock tonight, we will be going live with 2 full hours of all the information you need about high school football, not only here in East Alabama, but the entire state of Alabama as well. We'll have every score in the state. We'll have all of the matchups coming for the state championship game in 7A and the semifinal rounds in classes 1A through 6A. We've got tons of highlights featuring all the teams here in East Alabama. Also coming up, we've got some special guests in the studio. The Faith Christian School cheerleaders will join us tonight. The Ted's Carpet and Floor cheerleaders joining us tonight. Also, we will have the Oxford Flag football team. They're going to the Super 7. Head coach Wes Brooks and the team will be with us live tonight on After the Game. A whole lot more. We're with you all the way until 12 midnight tonight, live on Facebook and YouTube. High School Football Alabama. Join us in just a few moments. We are in high school football, Alabama, on a football Friday night here on the campus of Parker Memorial Baptist Church in Anniston. We are in the RMC Media Center on this football Friday night. We're going to begin things with the Faith Christian School cheerleaders. They join us tonight to kick things off. Ladies.
FCS, green and gold. Faith Christian, let's hear it. Show your life spirit. Yell FCS, FCS. Faith Christian, let's hear it. Show your life spirit for green and gold. Green and gold. FCS, green and gold. Let's go!
The Faith Christian cheerleaders joining us tonight on High School Football Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Jon Holder with you on this football Friday night. Faith does not play football, but basketball season is going, and they began basketball this week. As a matter of fact, playing a home game tonight against Ragland, and we will have more from the Faith Christian cheerleaders coming up in just a few moments. We got every score in the state of Alabama, highlights from all across North Alabama, from Huntsville to Sylacauga, all the way over into West Alabama at Reform, back to Oneonta and to Piedmont. We've got all kinds of highlights, every score in the state, the matchups for the state championship game in Class 7A, and for the semifinal games coming up next week in Classes 1A through 6A. All your local scores, highlights, special guests. We're going to name our Ted's Carpet and Floor Team of the Year, selected by you on Facebook over the last couple of weeks. All of that coming up as we roll toward 12 midnight here on High School Football Alabama after the game. Right now, we want to catch you up on the local scores across East Alabama as we go to our Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware scoreboard with all the local scores. This was a thrilling game. Of course, we'll have Piedmont and Gordo highlights coming your way. Number 3 Piedmont back in the North Alabama championship game. Piedmont tonight at home at the Field of Champions taking on number 2 Gordo. Piedmont was down 7-0 at halftime. But the Bulldogs, apart from an 84-yard touchdown run on the last play of the third quarter, shut Gordo down in the second half. 27-7, Piedmont outscores the Green Wave in the second half. First meeting ever between Piedmont and Gordo. Piedmont wins over Gordo 27-14. The Bulldogs will be back at home at the Field of Champions next Friday night, where they will be hosting Sylvania. Sylvania, this is a rematch of a regular season game out of Class 3A Region 6. Piedmont won at the Field of Champions back in September 40-7. The rematch next Friday night on Black Friday at the Field of Champions in Piedmont. This game is still going on. We'll have highlights of this game, and this is a wild and crazy game at Watt Mosby Memorial Stadium at Anniston. Number 2 Anniston, number 5 Andalusia. Anniston led 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. Now we have a final, and Anniston has beaten Andalusia 35 the other way around. Andalusia has now beaten Anniston 35-28. What a huge comeback win. Again, Andalusia was down 21-0 in the first half. Anniston went up 21-7 at the end of the third quarter, and Andalusia scores 28 points late third, early fourth. They come back and beat Anniston. A devastating loss for the Bulldogs tonight at Watt Mosby as Andalusia comes from 21 down to beat the Anniston Bulldogs and end the Anniston season tonight. Andalusia 35, Anniston 28. They will get Catholic of Montgomery, the number 1 team in the state in 4A, in the 4A semis next week. Montgomery Catholic playing another East Alabama team, Hanley, tonight in Montgomery. Montgomery Catholic winning that game 21-14. Great effort by Hanley. They led early on, but we will have a rematch now in the 4A South Alabama championship game between Montgomery Catholic and Andalusia. They will play at Catholic High School on the east side of Montgomery next Friday night for the South Alabama championship. Montgomery Catholic beat them the first time 45-23, the rematch between Catholic and Andalusia next Friday night in Montgomery. Congratulations to Adam Fawcett and the B.B. Comer Tigers tonight in Sylacauga. We'll have highlights of this game as well. B.B. Comer beats Reeltown 28-22. B.B. Comer now in the state semifinals. They will be taking on, it looks like next week they've got the Highland Home Flying Squadron coming in as B.B. Comer beats Reeltown 28-22 at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga. They will be at home for the 2A South Alabama Championship game again at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga next Friday night. Randolph and Cherokee County playing tonight in Huntsville. We will have highlights of this game from Sports Med Field in Huntsville. Number 10 Cherokee County rolls over Randolph tonight, 35-21. Randolph had best season in school history. They had rolled up the most points ever in school history, but Cherokee County takes care of the Raiders tonight in the Rocket City, 35-21. Next Friday night, I think this is the game I'll be at. Cherokee County and Oneonta. They will play at Bobby Joe Johnson Field in Center next Friday night. Cherokee County lost to Oneonta the first time at Gilbert Stadium in Oneonta. In a game that Cherokee County led 14-13 in the fourth quarter, Oneonta came back and won 17-14. Tonight, Oneonta blasted Deshler. Deshler was undefeated, had the longest winning streak in the state of Alabama in any classification. They had won 13 straight games, but Oneonta beat them tonight 62-21. So the rematch in Center next week, Cherokee County and Oneonta for the North Alabama Championship. The winner goes to the Super 7 in Auburn coming up in December. And what about the Coosa Christian Conquerors? Shocking the state in Class 1A last week with that win over Spring Garden. Tonight, they knock off number 10 Lynn over in Gadsden at Philip Ellen Field. We were there. We'll have highlights of that game. Congratulations to Coach Mark O'Brien and the Conquerors as Coosa Christian beats Lynn tonight, 46-29. Coosa Christian will have Pickens County. That will be a game that will be played at Reform next Friday night as Coosa Christian will take on the Tornadoes for the North Alabama Championship in Class 1A. Let's talk about now our social media platforms where you can check out everything going on with High School Football Alabama after the game. highschoolfootballalabama.com. You can check us out there. A lot of great information, shows that are archived there. Also, you can check us out on Facebook. Lots of good information. Facebook Live videos, a lot of our award winners and things like that. You can check those things out at High School Football Alabama on Facebook and also on YouTube. You can check us out and watch the show actually live there at High School Football Alabama on YouTube. A number of ways that you can watch the show. Share that, like that, follow us on Facebook, tell folks about it. Throughout the offseason. This will be our last show of the season tonight, but we'll have a lot of great content in the offseason there. highschoolfootballalabama.com, High School Football Alabama on Facebook and on YouTube. Faith Christian, you have to answer a question for me. Did you win tonight against Raglan?
Yes.
They did win tonight against Raglan. I thought there was an extra pep in their step there. So, ladies, take us to break. Here's the Faith Christian School cheerleaders one more time on After the Game.
Everybody yell, go Lions, hey! Go Lions! Everybody yell, go Lions, hey! Go Lions! Everybody yell, go Lions, hey! Go Lions! Everybody yell, go Lions!
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did. When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, Roanoke. And don't forget about our low price guarantee.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cash Back account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. Noblebank.com. Member FDIC.
We are back on high school football, Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Jon Holder will have Gerhard Mathangani, Coach Michael Short, our entire hard-working after the game crew with us on this football Friday night. And these folks, you've been hearing me all year long talk about Ted's carpeted floor. They are like this all the time, I can tell you. You've heard me talk about the Ted's Cheer Squad. Well, here they are, and Ted's Carpet and Floor jumped on board with us this year to present our Ted's Carpet and Floor Team of the Week. We were out all over, small schools, big schools, across East Alabama this year, handing out our Team of the Week trophy and our Anniston Orthopedic score shirts. And these ladies right here, Kathy Gregerson, tell us about Tell us about the cheer squad here. First, introduce us to all the folks you have with us.
Okay, we have Kayla, Vanessa, Tammy, our cheer squad, and then we have Mr. Ted and Cole, and I'm Kathy, all from Ted's Carpet and Floor. Woo!
And I can tell you, whether we went to a pep rally or we went to a pregame meal or we went to some kind of a practice or something like that, wherever we went, and the folks like Spring Garden and Ohatchee and places like that, they can attest that these folks are spirited. You bring the energy in. Just tell us about Ted's Carpet and Floor. You are so involved in the community, and this is just one of the many things that you guys do in the community. Tell us about how involved you are in our East Alabama community.
We try to be involved inside the East Alabama community. We love everybody inside Calhoun County and the surrounding areas. We love to support everybody and want to do as much as we possibly can for y'all.
Absolutely. Now, I think we may have a graphic, I'm not sure, but we basically had 11 winners of our Team of the Week. They got the trophies, they got the T-shirts. And so we took the 11 winners and we went online. Usually Gerhard and Coach and myself are picking the weekly winners. We thought we'd let the fans, we let you, our after the game viewers choose the winners this year. So here were our 11 weekly winners. We had Donahoe, Cherokee County, Central of Clay County, Anniston, Sacs, Etowah, Ohatchee, Alexandria, Spring Garden, Oxford, and Hoax Bluff. We went to the campuses of every one of those schools and presented our Team of the Week. And then for about 10 days, we voted at High School Football Alabama's Facebook page. Let you, the fans, vote. And the winner with way over 1,000 votes,
yes,
was
Central Clay County.
So the volunteers, we're going to have this big tough guy trophy. We got a special one, as a matter of fact. Cole is holding that. Cole is always the guy. This thing weighs about 10 pounds. Cole is always the guy to present the trophy there. And that's the tough guy. This is a specially designed tough guy trophy that we had just for our Team of the Year. So we will be going down, Coach Danny Horn and the Vols down in the Lineville-Ashland area. We will be presenting them with that Team of the Year. Ted's Carpet and Floor. I have given the testimonial this year about what great work you folks do, not only in the community, but if you're looking for carpet and flooring needs, I mean, there's just no other choice. I mean, there is the people you see here, wonderful people, as you can tell already. It begins there. But tell us just what all you do, maybe the philosophy of the company. We got Ted Gregerson here. And basically just tell us what it's all about. We're going to
all righty.
Call it audible here. We'll do that. That's fine.
We live by principles, John. We treat people the way we'd want to be treated, and we always do the right thing. Those two things have paid off for us the last 26 years, and people here in Calhoun County have really supported us.
Absolutely, and we can attest to that. As I said, I personally, even before we had any relationship whatsoever with Ted's, I used them to put down hardwood and carpet at my home back in the spring, summertime. In that time frame, fantastic job. Quality products, all kinds of just wonderful people to deal with. Sheldon, who joins us from time to time out at the pep rallies, he was kind of my liaison there and came out and did measurements and things like that. And just a great experience all the way around. I'm just telling you, folks, if you want local folks involved in our community, as you can tell, great people to work with quality products and great service, there's really no other place to go when you need carpet and floor needs. And I tell you, the pet rallies this year, I just can't. Week 2, this really didn't start at Donahoe. It started at Cole. Cole is Cherokee County. And that's where it started. That night at Center, I mean, that afternoon at Center, that's where it kind of started. Because you came in, all y'all came in and you had your pom-poms. And the church. I think the cheerleaders from Center were a little bit intimidated by because y'all came in there with a lot of spirit.
I think Oxford was last week or the week before.
And then we were at Alexandria. Man, that pep rally.
Oh, yeah, that was the best.
It was unbelievable. Thank you so much for being a part of High School Football Alabama, being a part of our community, being able to recognize these young people and these teams and the coaches and players and communities with Team of the Week. It's a huge honor for them. Not possible without Ted's Carpet and Floor. Thank you for being here on a cold November night, heading into Thanksgiving and brightening up us up here at High School Football Alabama. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
And speaking of that trophy right there, Awards to Remember, I picked that up today. Robert Smith and all the folks out at Awards to Remember do a great job with not only our Team of the Week trophy, but also our Player of the Week trophy, our plaque that we give there. Great selection of awards. Visit their showroom, Highway 144 in Ohatchee, also awardstoRemember.com. One of the top 10 awards dealers in the entire Southeast, right here in Calhoun County. Awards to Remember, another great sponsor of High School Football Alabama after the game. We come back, final scores, matchups, highlights. You see our hard crew working right there. We're with you until 12 midnight on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
My dad taught me to fish right here years ago. But when an old sports injury started slowing him down, I knew we'd need to search for the latest procedures in knee and hip replacement. With physical therapy tailored to his needs, a dedicated team of doctors and nurses, and he'd want a fast recovery time. So where'd he find all that?
Right here at RMC.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
Hi, this is Kevin Riggin, General Manager here at Team 1 Chevrolet in Gadsden, and your local Chevy guy. I want to buy your vehicle today. Let me put an offer on your car and pay you right on the spot. I can get you in a new vehicle or put the cash in your hand for your vehicle. Either way, we can make you a great deal. Bring your vehicle to me here at Team 1 Chevrolet in Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period, and the most money for your ride.
High school football, Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. We have all the final scores involving teams from East Alabama as we go to our Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware scoreboard. We'll have highlights of all of these games as well. Number 3 Piedmont tonight, a winner over Gordo 27-14 at the Field of Champions in Piedmont. Highlights of that game on the way. Heartbreaking loss for the Anniston Bulldogs tonight. We'll have highlights of this game. Anniston led 21-0 at halftime. Andalusia, most of this came in the fourth quarter. Even late in the third, Anniston was still up 21-7, but Andalusia came back and tied it 21-21. Anniston went back ahead 28-21. Then Andalusia tied it 28-28, and then it went back to Andalusia. They took their first lead. They never led until the end when Andalusia took the lead over Anniston. They beat the Bulldogs in the Battle of Bulldogs, 35-28. Tough loss for Anniston tonight. We'll have highlights of that game coming. Also tonight, Montgomery Catholic and Hanley, another team out of Class 4A Region 4, falling tonight. Hanley led in this game as well, but Montgomery Catholic wins over Hanley 21-14. So next week it will be Montgomery Catholic at Andalusia, a rematch of a regular season game that Montgomery Catholic won 45-23. They'll play in Montgomery next week. By the way, Piedmont will be at home next Friday night as well in a rematch with Sylvania. Now we take a look at BB Comer. We'll have highlights of this game as well from Sylacauga at Legion Stadium, where BB Comer will be in the South Alabama Championship game of Class 2A. They beat the Reeltown Rebels tonight at Legion Stadium, 28-22 the final. As we said, highlights of that game coming from Sylacauga. And let's talk about the Cherokee County Warriors. They are in the North Alabama Championship game in Class 4A. They win tonight in Huntsville against Randolph, 35-21. We'll have highlights of that game coming from Huntsville. Cherokee County in a rematch with Oneonta. Oneonta, big winner tonight over Deshler, 62-21. Next week, Cherokee County, Oneonta. Oneonta won the first time, 17-14 in Oneonta. This will be in Center next Friday night, the North Alabama Championship game of Class 4A. And last but not least tonight, Coosa Christian. How about the Conquerors as they beat Lynn tonight, beat them in Gadsden 46-29. Believe it or not, Coosa Christian is going to the North Alabama Championship game in Class 1A. 2 big wins in a row over Spring Garden last week, over Lynn tonight. We will have highlights of that game from Philip Ellen Stadium in Gadsden coming up a little bit later on After the Game. Back on the set right now, joined by Lori Denton from the city of Oxford.
Hello.
Lori, how are you? Glad to have you with us.
We are great. We are great.
It is cold. It is not, we were in the 80s just about 10 days ago, and I know you were thinking, oh, we're having Festival of Lights.
It felt amazing,
in
though.
Summertime. But tonight we had cold weather, and it was the first night of Festival of Lights at Choccolocco Park. So
absolutely.
Give us the eyewitness report on how things went.
So it's cold always. So a lot of folks forget that Choccolocco Park, we have that water right there, and the wind really kicks up, and it makes things quite a bit colder out there, but it did not turn the crowds down. We had a great crowd tonight for opening night. It's always such an honor to welcome just, visitors from all across the region. It's not just people who live here locally. And so without First Bank of Alabama being our sponsor, they're our presenting sponsor this year. It's been great. We are so excited to have them on board. And we've added new attractions this year. It was a ton of fun tonight. And you know what? I'm glad I had such a great time because I believe we have 36 more opportunities of so much fun at nighttime.
It did start, I think, a little bit earlier this year. Is that right?
So last year we started on November 20th. This time on November 18th. I think last year we started on a Saturday night, tonight Friday night. We had a soft opening for our employees on Wednesday night. Super cold then too.
Yes.
That gives us a chance to let our employees figure things out, let our vendors figure things out. We're very fortunate. We get to hire a lot of our high school kids across the region to work out there. It's excellent seasonal employment. And the kids learn how to talk to people, how to welcome people to our area. And, hey, how'd you hear about Festival of Lights? Welcome to Oxford. We're so glad you came. So it's an opportunity for our kids to learn those crucial skills to be successful, as well as, just make our show be the best that it can be.
Absolutely. And we have through Facebook and YouTube. We're worldwide, so we have a lot of folks around the state of Alabama, all over the region that watch this show, thousands of people every Friday night. So tell folks that maybe are not from around here,
Absolutely.
what exactly is Festival of Lights at Choccolocco Park? Folks are familiar with Choccolocco Park
That's
because of the state softball and baseball championships, but they may not understand what goes on at this time of year out there.
Okay, so end of September, beginning of October, we have some elves, some special elves that work at Choccolocco Park to transform our park into a winter wonderland. So it becomes a 1 mile long drive-through light show. You get to listen to holiday music, messages from the city, beautiful lights. We've added some new displays this year. We actually have like a sea dragon across the water.
I saw that.
Oh my goodness, it's beautiful.
I walk at Choccolocco Park every chance I get.
Yes,
and I saw
too.
that the other night. Yes.
Oh, it's beautiful at nighttime. It reflects on the water. It looks great. You go through the light show, you park, you get out in Santa's Village, which is the best it's ever been this year. So we have an opportunity for pictures with Santa. We have a ton of inflatables. We have outdoor skating. We have lots of vendors set up. We have cider. Something that we've had in the past is letters to Santa. We're actually putting a little twist on that this year, and thanks to Texas Roadhouse, every week Santa is going to be drawing a letter out of his bag. So we're going to get a boy letter and a girl letter. So some lucky boy and girl every week will get something on their Christmas list from Santa.
Awesome.
So Santa will draw those out. We'll get in touch with the parents. They can come back out to the light show and Santa will give them their gifts. You know, just anything we can do to make it be more exciting and fun for the parents. And there's actually no extra cost for Santa's letters. We do have costs in the village for skating and things like that, but you can buy a family wristband. The first wristband's $20, extra wristbands $10. You can do inflatables as long as you want, as much skating as you want. You know, we've tried to find ways to make it affordable for families. It's so exciting. And actually, I just released our discount night calendar today.
Okay.
Okay, so typically on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, through the first few weeks, we try to come up with fun nights to get the crowd out. And we offer $15 tickets instead of $20, which is it's $20 Monday through Thursday, $25 per car on the weekend. So we'll have nights like, if you're an educator, bring your school staff badge. You can get in for $15. If you're a nurse, healthcare worker, bring your badge. We're partnering with Wanika Hendricks at Countryside Financial this year in December. She does a huge toy drive. She does a back-to-school backpack drive. The city of Oxford were supporters of her. We decided, hey, let's do a toy drive for her this year. So we've got one night in December coming up. If you bring a toy, you get in for $10. And after it's over, all those toys go to her. She has a day that you come to her facility. Kids come. They have a ton of fun. Everybody gets a toy. It's great. We're doing a Baptist Service Center is going to get canned food donations from us one night. We have things like Iron Bowl night. You dress in your Auburn, Alabama stuff. You get in for $15. So we're just trying to find fun ways to get the community involved. For the first time, we're actually involving our teenagers. So I get to work really closely with a lot of our young people in the community, and I'm like, what can I do? What do I need to do to get y'all out there? And they're like, I don't know, something, recognize us as schools. So any school in the region can show up. I believe we have this night in December. Show up in your school colors, your school pride, and you can get in for $15. You know, it's awesome. It's fun. It gets everybody in the holiday spirit. I know my family is over me being in the Christmas spirit. I put my tree up before Halloween because I knew I'd be decorating for Festival of Lights.
5 until 10 o'clock every night through Christmas Eve, is that right?
Every night through Christmas Eve. Even if it rains, the drive-through light show still goes on. We may have to close Santa's Village, but guess what? If it's raining, light show's still going on, and that is nightly 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. beginning tonight all the way through Christmas Eve.
And lastly, you have a great website where folks can buy tickets in advance and find out all the information you're talking about, the calendar and all that. Tell us about that.
Please visit oxfordlights.com. You can find out our menu, all of our vendors that we have there. Their menus are listed with prices. You can find out pricing about merchandise, how much it costs to do different things in the village. You can purchase your tickets there, but you can also purchase them at the gate.
And the Festival of Lights also brings you our brackets. We have started with the high school football Alabama brackets, and as you see, we're going to start going through those tonight. We'll begin tonight in 7A, work our way all the way down through 1A. Before we get to the brackets, Lori, thank you so much for being with us here on High School Football Alabama after the game. Looking forward to coming out to Choccolocca Park to Festival of Lights.
We can't wait to have y'all.
Lori Denton with the Festival of Lights with the City of Oxford, and now we're going to go to our Festival of Lights brackets. Central Phoenix City and Auburn, Hoover and Thompson. That's four teams that, for the 6th year in a row, we had Hoover and Thompson in the state semifinals. And for the 4th year in a row, we had Auburn and Central Phoenix City in the state semifinals in Class 7A. So this was the semifinals. The state championship game is now set. It will be Auburn and Thompson. We've talked a lot of times on the program about over the years, the last couple of years, about how Central Phoenix City kind of held sway over Auburn. Auburn just couldn't get over the hump. Well, earlier in the season, Central Phoenix City had beaten Auburn 38-17, but tonight, Auburn and Coach Keith Etheridge, they finally got over the hump and they beat Central Phoenix City in Phoenix City at Garrett Harrison Stadium by a score of 14-13. They're the South Alabama champs, and they will get Thompson. Hoover had beaten Thompson 9-0 in the regular season, but tonight, Thompson turns the tables on Hoover big time at Regions Park, 40-10. So the state championship game on Friday night, on Wednesday night, November 30th at 7 p.m. at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn will be Thompson taking on Auburn for the 7A title game. So we've got the 7A, that's your 7A brackets on our Oxford Festival of Lights brackets. Let's talk about Farmers and Merchants Bank now. Great supporters of high school football Alabama as they bring our Player of the Week to us and the Spirit Scholarship. We had those winners last week. Farmers and Merchants Bank has the new vertical debit cards out with every school in Calhoun County, plus Spring Garden coming to more schools in Cherokee County as well next year, as well as a new location coming to Center as well. Farmers and Merchants Bank bringing you high school football Alabama's Player of the Week and our first extra point of the night, brought to you by the folks at Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden. Talking about that Andalusia-Anniston game. Andalusia, they love to come to Calhoun County. Andalusia's visit to Anniston tonight marked only the second time the Bulldogs have played at Calhoun County School. Andalusia also visited Calhoun County 45 years ago for the Class 3A state championship game on the hill at Walter Welborn. Andalusia won the 3A title that night with a 7-0 victory over the Panthers. Both teams entered the contest undefeated for the game. Played on December 2nd, 1977, and Andalusia comes to Calhoun County, and they win again by 7 points. We come back, highlights and more as we roll on a football Friday night.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, or Roanoke. And don't forget about our low price guarantee.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cash Back account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. Noblebank.com. Member FDIC.
There's a lot to think about when you're having a baby. Colors of the nursery, names, and most importantly, where to deliver.
We wanted a hospital that gives families a more personalized birthing experience.
With a compassionate team of doctors and nurses, and a hospital where my baby and I can instantly bond with all the comforts of home.
So where do we find all that?
Right here at RMC, the first designated baby-friendly hospital in Alabama.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware bringing you our Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware scoreboard on Friday nights during the football season. Everything you need, big projects, small projects, building a house. Maybe you just got home improvement projects for the weekend, something small. Oxford Lumber has you covered. 4 locations in East Alabama, not only in Oxford, but also the Jacksonville Home Center, Talladega Home Center, and the Roanoke Home Center as well. Another great thing they do that we've been telling you about all season long is they, if you go down there and pick a grill out, say tomorrow, they will deliver that grill to your house. They'll put it together for you. That's a great deal. Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware, great supporters of high school football, Alabama, after the game. Speaking of Oxford, we come back here to the set now, and we are joined by the head coach of the Oxford flag football team, also the head baseball coach of the Oxford Yellow Jackets, Coach Wes Brooks, and the Oxford flag football team. Also, we're bringing in Gerhard Mathangani for the first time, Coach Michael Short for the first time here on the set. The Oxford flag football team, last year, the first year of flag football, the AHSAA, you were in the Final Four. Yes. This year, you're headed to the state championship, a big win this week. Coach, just tell us about what has happened the last couple of weeks.
I tell you what, you know, as coaches, you got a plan, you know, and you just kind of put your plan in place. And we've got girls from all different backgrounds, whether it's softball, cheerleading, basketball, and they do a really good job of just executing the plan. You know, we try to put them in the right spot, or try to put our best athletes in the best position to give them the best chance of success. And hats off to the girls for just being able to execute the things and just being athletes in those positions wherever we put them. And different times, each different part of the year, girls' roles have changed, and they've accepted those roles, whether they're a rusher, a receiver, a blocker, a center, or whatever. And they just taken on a challenge, and they really don't know any bad habits because they didn't grow up playing, you know, football. And so, and you got to be careful with when you're teaching them something, because they're going to do exactly what you tell them to, because they don't know any other way, you know. So if I could sum it up in one word, I would just say it's been really, really fun.
Coach, before we go any further, we want folks to know this is the real deal. This is an officially sanctioned AHSAA championship. The winner of the game between you and Hoover coming up on Wednesday afternoon, November 30th, will receive a blue map, a blue state championship trophy. This will be at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn. Yes, sir. You'll be playing at Jordan-Hare Stadium on statewide television, on APT, and with a big jumbotron and everything there. This is big stuff. It's exciting stuff. Just kind of your thoughts about all this that's about to happen down at Jordan-Hare.
You know, I used to be that coach that, like, you know, every rep and every play and every game, it's all the same, no matter if you're playing the Bad News Bears or the New York Yankees or the, you know, Buffalo Bills or whatever. But it is a big moment. It is magnified. It is the state championship. It's going to be at Auburn University. It is their dream. It is their that goal on top of that mountain of success that they wanted to have all year long. So instead of doing the old school, like every play is the same and, you know, it's just like opening day or whatever, I just want them to have fun and make memories. And just by taking that attitude over the last 2 or 3 weeks, they have just really been having a blast, and the girls have just kind of, you know, enjoyed it a lot. And to be honest with you, I really enjoyed it too, you know, being able to manage the different schedules. You know, there's some that even couldn't be here tonight because they're occupied in other, you know, events going on, and just working with the coaches and kind of showing, you know, that you can do multiple sports. I kid with some of the girls that I want a couple of them to be the first 7 sport athletes at Oxford High School. And I'll be honest with you, we've got several that are probably 4 or 5 sport girls. Reagan White, she's a soccer player, she's cheerleader, indoor, outdoor track, flag football. I mean, you name it, she's involved in it. And of course, we just added bowling, we just added fishing. So there's a lot of sports going on, and everybody's nervous about it at the very beginning, but it just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of planning, being able to let those sports that are in season have their time right after school, and we just basically default to the later time of the day. We get our athletic director, our football coach to cut the lights on, and we just go out there and go to work.
I know we're going to show the girls here in a minute. We got most of the team here. We're going to show them, and there they are right there. A lot of these girls were here with us last year.
That's right.
And joined us here on the set. We got a little bit more room for them, so we can see them a little bit better right here. But before we come back, and I know Gerhard and Coach are itching to ask you some questions about this. Let's talk about this team right here. Tell us about these young ladies that are going for a state championship for Oxford High School coming up in about 10 days.
We got several sisters back here. We got the Howell twins. Raise your hand in the back. The tall girls in the back. We got Chelsea and Zay Whitfield. They're sisters as well. One's a senior, one's a junior. Both are multi-sport athletes.
Yeah, they can play a little basketball, I think.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I think so, yeah.
You got Sawyer and Skylar Brooks and Peyton Brooks, and you got Callaway in the front. You got Saxon and Ledbetter is our 7th grader. She actually scored a touchdown this year. Victoria Robinson. Kristen Gooden is a 8th grader. She's our starting corner, and she's also an 8th grade basketball player, so she's juggling that as well. Gabby Lindsay in the back, she's probably got one of the best arms in the school in all sports, girls and boys. And then Reagan White is pretty much the most dynamic athlete that we've got that can do a lot of different things. Aaliyah Kelly, she's last year she started off as a rusher. This year now she's the center, and she's really runs the offense. When it's almost like we don't have a manager, but when we need a football, she's got it. She's got our football, and it's a real football sport. We did film study today. We do scout reports. I mean, we do the whole 9 yards. So we do walkthroughs, we do kicking game, we punt. We got punt coverage, punt return, and that's going to be a difference maker. Offense, defense, special teams, and that's a good way to get a quick score on the board. So it's really Dalton Roan is our defense coordinator. Coach Reagans is our operations coach, and we just have a really good time. We got 3 managers that help us. We got filmers. We film every game. Of course, we had the YouTube, the high school media, the Oxford media team did the last game, and of course NFHS Network. And it is just it's really exciting that they're taking it serious. AHSA is going to come to our school and do the highlight video. So when they hit the field on the jumbotron, they're going to have each, and like if one of them makes a special play, there's going to be some little quick 3-second highlights there. So they're doing a good job. And tomorrow morning, the 2 flag football state final coaches and the 2 7A state final coaches got a meeting tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. In Montgomery to go over all the details. And we're going to get interviewed. So they're really making this a big deal. It's on the same night as the 7A state finals. I'm just proud to be a small part of it, but also I'm proud for these girls to be able to experience something like that. Whereas a year and a half, 2 years ago, they probably never knew that it was going to be this big of a deal, and it is a pretty big deal.
You mentioned the coaching aspect of it. I want to bring Coach Short in now. I know he's got some questions about this from the coaching standpoint, because there's some similarities between, I guess, coaching, football with the pads and this. So, Coach, what do you got for him here?
Well, when I was younger in my career, before I became the head coach, I coached girls.
Okay.
And that was probably some of the most rewarding times that I had by coaching girls, because when I first got them, they didn't know a whole lot. They'd played a little bit of basketball. I coached girls basketball, but they were like sponges, because everything I said, they believed it. And I said, man, they believe everything I said. I'd go home and tell my wife, they believe everything I say. And I used to enjoy coaching girls basketball, but on the football side of it, when and that's what I was thinking, there's a lot of terminology and things like it right there, and I wondered, defensive guy, I'm thinking you had to go to Thompson at some point in time and talk to Matt. And I'm just guessing.
That's right.
He had to talk to Matt because he was an offensive guy, even though now he's a defense coordinator, I think. But all on defense, Mike, Will, Rover, Sam, all that. Because I used to let my girls in basketball, what you want to call this, you call it, and you decide.
That's right.
My girls just said, nope, we're going to leave it just what it is. I want what the guys got. That's what we're going to be called. How did y'all go about doing that?
Same thing. I asked them if they wanted to be called Mike, Sam, or Willie, or Michelle, Samantha, Willamette.
Yes, that's right.
And believe it or not, against Hewitt, we had 11 different checks. We had Tampa, Tampa 2, we had man, we had man free, and they did a good job of executing that. Whatever. We didn't call a defense. We let them come out, and based upon their formation. And that's another thing of getting them in the best position possible. Against Vestavia, we had 10 checks. They marched it down we're up 12-0. They marched it down the field with a different quarterback in the second half. They got 1st and goal on the 7. We changed defenses, and then it's 3rd and 7, and they panicked. They had to call 2 timeouts, which helped us in the end because we just ended up running the clock out. But because of we ran bracket, they had 3 in a line. We had our tallest girl, Zay, on the center, and then the 2 girls on the outside, cross-reading, just like in the old wing T or single wing, cross-reading, and and they ran right into us because we knew they were going to run some crossing routes. We try to line up in a little jag bunch, 3 girls in a line in a triangle, and if you run man-to-man against that, you better know what you're doing. So that kind of gets them confused, and we also hit our run game off of that as well by blocking 2 down and then pulling 1 to the outside. So there's angles, containment. Our rushers are starting to learn what containment means. Anytime we run any sort of man-to-man, you got to have somebody to have contained still, because if those receivers get run off, the quarterback can just scramble and run forever.
And the center can go out.
The center can go out. You don't have to count the Mississippi, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You can just rush on the snap of the ball. So you got to have somebody responsible for her.
Yeah,
and then probably our best running play is running the triple option on the goal line, and Reagan's good enough that we let her read it sometimes. We let her, follow in the fullback. We let her pitch it sometimes. So just being, and we don't do a ton of different stuff. It looks different, but that's just because all the formations that we line up in. And last week, we lined up in the same formation. We went on 2, ready, set, go. Okay, it gives us a chance to see are they 1 deep, they 2 deep, are they man, and then we call the play, which helps them not have a good rush getting off the ball. So it's really, they don't know it, but they're doing some stuff that guys do on Sundays. They're doing some stuff that Alabama's defense does. They're doing stuff that LSU and Ole Miss offense does, and they, and I tell them, and then they'll text me on Saturday and Sunday, and they're like, Coach, they just ran jag right bunch and ran jet sweep to the right, and to hear the announcers talk about containment and just talk about angles and
they'll have to be super loud inside that stadium.
Oh yeah,
communications have to be louder than what they're used to.
And I don't worry, like usually you worry about how girls are going to react and respond. I think going on the road in the quarterfinals against Hewitt, we went there last year in the semis. We didn't score. We got shut out. And then we went. And then I think when they won that game, I think is when they all kind of knew and believed that we really can do this. And then last week, we didn't have all the players together. We were missing some volleyball players and some cheerleaders the first 2 times we played Vestavia. So we lost by 1 score, once on the last play of the game and once on like a double pass right there at the end of the game. So we kind of felt like we had some secrets that they hadn't seen, and it really ended up paying off. But again, hats off to the girls for executing the defensive game plan. And basically, we shut out Hewitt and basically shut out Vestavia until the last 35 seconds of the game, and we were in nickel. Right. We had 5 defensive backs, and we were just kind of letting them complete everything underneath. And we got a dime package too. So I mean, they got pretty much everything in the defensive playbook that you can put in, we've got in. And again, and they know them all, but we might only end up running 3 or 4 coverages. But at least they know and they know what to do, especially after a timeout. Say, guys, y'all remember what we went over on trap coverage? And so they say, oh, yeah, and then they go back out there and execute it.
That's awesome. As fate would have it, actually, intramural referee intramurals in college. And girls, if y'all want a guaranteed job, because now playing you could easily do that and have a guaranteed job in college. But another thing I learned was that the growth of the game was huge even then. And then last year we had a state championship game. I was watching the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Seattle Seahawks game on Sunday last week in Germany, and they highlighted the flag football team. They have a league, a pro flag football league for women over there. From what you've seen, how has flag football grown for women, not only in the state but in the country?
October the 20th last year, we had 1 more regular season game left. Nobody knew if there was even going to be a playoff system in. October 22nd, we get an email that we're going to Huntsville to play in a regional. Had no idea what was going to go on. We were seeded 6th out of 8 teams that day, and we finished 2nd in the top 2 in each region, went on to the quarterfinals. went down to Greensboro, came back. They did the finals at UAB's home field. And before this year even started, Alan Gilbert called and they just said, hey, we're going to make this a big deal this year, which I'm glad that they are. But also I'm getting emails from colleges in Kentucky about scholarships, about combines. And you know, we got, you know, Anniston picked up a team, Albertville picked up a team. We got some schools, Moody, some close schools that maybe like a place like Choccolocco Park can host a flag football combine during the summer. You know, and obviously I mean, look at Gabby. She looks like an SEC quarterback already. She's only in the 9th grade. And she can throw it 55 yards. So just maybe something like that can catch on, and we can use the summer as a little bit of like a spring training, you know, and make it, you know, bigger. And even boys flag football. My niece, Peyton's sister, Molly Brooks, she's like one of the better, you know, 10-year-old flag football players out there at Choccolocco Park now. So just being able to have that, and I guess if you come to watch us play, you're like, oh my goodness, this is the real deal. You know, Zay Whitfield, everybody's talking about Randy Moss, how like, you know, we just send her deep. But a lot of times, you know, recently, because teams know who she is, she's the one that plays that decoy to send them deep. And Ashlyn Burns or Reagan White or somebody crosses across, you know, the middle, you know, running a dig route and a post route. And they know what those are. Like even our signal dig, you know, that's the signal for it. So all verts and then H dig. So, you know, and that's the fun part of it. We use the wristband on offense. We do a combination. Sometimes the first number's live. Sometimes the second number's live. Sometimes all the numbers are live. And then on defense, we just let them, our formations are animals like eagle, jaguar, what else? Hawk, tiger, you know, and then our calls on defense are just whatever the girls feel like calling them, and sometimes it's just whatever their name is, you know. And that's just the fun part about it, that, you know, and that's what NFL, you know, that they'll call out crazy. You hear Tom Brady call his cadence, you know, he's just kind of saying whatever. So, you know, again, like you said, you know, letting those girls, and in the year 2000, I was hired at Welborn, and I was girls varsity basketball coach. And our point guard was Amy Brannon, which is Ashlyn Burns' mom. My shortstop was Andrew Burns, which is Ashlyn Burns' dad, and Ashlyn's been a big part of our flag football success. And, you know, I guess you realize you're getting old when you start coaching kids and parents, you know. But it's just really been fun. And it takes a lot of communication. It really does. Obviously, you know, this afternoon, this morning I had baseball workouts, then 6 periods of health, and then baseball practice, and then flag football walkthrough, and then now we're here again for flag. And I'm sending a message to our online baseball store to get their cleats ordered for. So juggling that, flipping that switch, you know, from baseball coach. And I think my daughters have always seen, you know, me being passionate about coaching baseball, obviously, because, you know, and I kid with everybody. I'm a really football guy coaching baseball, you know, when I first started, just because, you know, I really got more exposure in football, you know, growing up, and ended up playing baseball at Jacksonville State and, you know, becoming a baseball coach. But being able to show that same passion, and the girls know it, they know it. Everything that we do is a pretty big deal, and there's times to have fun, and there's time to lock in. And probably my best moment this year is walking in the classroom, and they all had their cameras on me with a flashlight and the lights off, and like, where are we going? Like, we're going to the ship, you know. So that was a pretty good moment.
I'll tell you how you make me feel old.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember the kicking camp that I put on over at Heflin?
I do.
You came to that kicking camp as a high school football player at Welborn, and I had that camp. I put it on.
That's right.
I'm feeling old.
I was I had the shoe and the strap.
That's right. Carol White's going, what is that?
Coach, before I let you get out of here, and then I'm going to do something special. I'm going to call it audible here. I'm going to do something real special. But let's talk about the experience of this, because how many people, I was thinking about this today, they're years from now, their kids are not going to believe them, because they're going to be sitting there in an Auburn game going, I played football in that field and played in a state championship game. And they're going to, and you're playing at Jordan-Hare Stadium, Jumbotron, full effect. You're telling me that the cheerleaders, the band is going to go, the sound of champions is going to be coming down to Jordan-Hare Stadium playing champions? I mean, this is huge stuff. Just tell about this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, I think.
Yeah, you know, to play in a championship game, you have to have some things go your way here and there. And the young Coach Brooks, you know, we're in a line, we're getting off we're right on time. Now the older Coach Brooks is, I really want 3 or 4 students just walking around filming the downtime when we're eating our pregame in the locker room, because those are the memories that they'll never get back. And yes, everybody's got a camera on their phone, but they're not always filming, the things that mean the most, whether it's a celebration on the sideline or just something funny that happens in the timeout or, halftime. We got a 10-minute halftime, and so it's just a really neat experience for these girls to have, and obviously for our state to allow us to play at Auburn and Bryant-Denny. And
correct me if I'm right or wrong. The last time that Oxford went to Auburn, didn't they win?
That's right, 2019.
Won the state championship.
Our 2019.
And speaking of that, I'm going to call an audible. No one knows I'm going to do this.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm going over here with the team here. I'm going to get right in the middle of them. I'm going to get right in the middle of these ladies here because, here we're in East Alabama. This is high school football Alabama, but we're East Alabama. So we don't show favoritism very much, but when our teams are playing for state championships, yes, we're going to show some favoritism. So I want to pump up these ladies right here. Ladies, go win a state championship for East Alabama and bring it back on the 30th. Y'all ready to do it? All right. The Big O. Coach, thank you for being with us here on High School Football Alabama after the game. Thank you for bringing these ladies here with us. Ladies, in just a moment, I'm going to get you to give us a Big O as we go out and go to break. First, though, I want to thank Noble Bank and Trust. They bring us this post-game presser. That's what this is. Noble Bank and Trust with locations not only in Anniston, but Oxford, Heflin, the Summit in Birmingham, Alexandria. And you call and you get a live person. Every time that you call Noble Bank, they have all the great financial products you need, great supporters of High School Football Alabama, and bringing you High School Football Alabama's after the game, post-game presser. And now we bring it back here. Ladies, how about one big go, Big O?
Go, Big O!
Hi, this is Kevin Riggin, General Manager here at Team One Chevrolet in Gadsden, and your local Chevy guy. I want to buy your vehicle today. Let me put an offer on your car and pay you right on the spot. I can get you in a new vehicle or put the cash in your hand for your vehicle. Either way, we can make you a great deal. Bring your vehicle to me here at Team One Chevrolet in Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period, and the most money for your ride.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC. When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston. The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
High school football, Alabama after the game on a football Friday night presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Jon Holder, Gerhard Mathangani, Coach Michael Short. We've had a lot of special guests with us tonight on our last show of the year, but we've got tons of highlights, and we're going to get to those highlights, beginning with the Class 4A quarterfinal matchup, which turned into a shocker in Class 4A up here at Lott Mosby Memorial Stadium. I was at this game tonight. I guess before the game started, if you said Andalusia was going to win this game, I think that's what everybody kind of sort of expected. That wouldn't be. But as the game unfolded, we were there. Anniston, total domination of this game. It's 21-0 Anniston at the half. To be honest with you, probably could have been worse. And I saw no clue that Andalusia could win this game. As a matter of fact, we left there with about 4 minutes to go in the third, and it was still 21-7 Anniston. You'll see this in the highlights. After we left in the last, really in the fourth quarter, Andalusia, don't know what happened, but Andalusia brought it all the way back to 21-21. Anniston retook the lead 28-21. Then Andalusia tied at 28-28, and then Andalusia scores at the end to win it 35-28. Andalusia never led in this game until they took the lead finally at the end to win it 35-28. Tough loss for the Anniston Bulldogs tonight, but all the credit in the world to Hall of Famer Trent Taylor, head coach at Andalusia, as they got the job done tonight on the road. Some adverse circumstances. Gerhard, you got the highlights from Lott Mosby.
Yeah, let's go out to Lott Mosby Memorial Stadium in Anniston. First ever meeting between Anniston and Andalusia out today in the third round. Anniston back in the third round for the second time in 5 years. Meanwhile, Andalusia's been a staple here in the South. Meanwhile, it is Anniston, as John said earlier, getting off to the really hot start. Here's Cam Sadlin to Demarius Billingsley. Billingsley right up the middle, give him 27 yards and a big first down here. Moments later, Sadlin more from his arm, this time to Jalen Cunningham. He's made plays all season long. 27 yards into the end zone for the touchdown. PAT's good. Anniston takes an early 7-0 lead in this one. A little bit later on, more from Sadlin and his arm. This time to Javon Thomas. You see he's hitting weapons all across the field, all guys getting involved here. This is a big 46-yard play inside the 20-yard line. A little bit later on, they go back to Cunningham, and he scores a touchdown. PAT after this touchdown was also good, as you see him getting help with some from some of his buddies there. 14-0 lead for Anniston. More from the Bulldogs here. This is a big pass play from Sadlin to Cunningham, 36 yards and a touchdown. As John mentioned it, 21-0, and it doesn't even look close. These are huge plays. Then it looks like we'll get a little bit of comeback here from Andalusia, and that time a nice play there from Caden Denson from Jack Lathrop for 13 yards, and then a little bit later on, Lathrop to Jamarian Burnett, and Burnett slides really close to the goal line. This is fourth down. Look at the Anniston defense coming up with a big play. Offense comes up with big plays. Defense stops them right there at the 1-yard line. 4 minutes to go till halftime. But then the Andalusia defense comes up with a big play, kind of. Watch Caden Denson here on the interception. Fantastic move, a great athlete. You see him on offense. He plays both ways. But just before he gets into the end zone, the ball pops free, guys. Back into the end zone. No points. It's a touchback. 53 seconds before the half. An absolute soul crusher there for Andalusia. However, they do get the ball back, and here's a pop pass. It's Denson, 35 yards here, making some moves just before the half. Very next snap, it is Burnett, same guy you saw earlier on the previous possession, gets into the end zone here for the 10-yard touchdown, but that made it 21-7. And as you said, whatever momentum they had towards the end of the second quarter, they must have carried it with them through the end of the game, because Anniston scored one more time, and Andalusia scored a bunch more, and they ended up winning it 35-28. As you said, John, I think most people, if you just saw that final score, if you could just zoom from last week into this week and go into a time capsule, that would be a final score you would think, but not the way that it played out tonight in Anniston.
Coach, they outscored Anniston 35-7 in the second half. You have to give all the credit to Andalusia.
You do, and plus they come on the road. And they're playing, and I know everybody wouldn't think this, but they're playing on grass. They don't play on natural grass. They play on the turf field too. And it was probably tonight being cold. It's going to be slick because, that grass is dead. Only one wears the crown when the grass turns brown is what they used to always say. But the thing that I noticed is when I watched film on Andalusia is they were just as big as Anniston up front. So you had two big teams facing each other as far as up front. And that's where usually the battles are won. And the game came down to a punt return. Anniston has the ball with a few seconds to go, and they punting out of their end zone with like 10 seconds to go, and Andalusia returns like a 40-yard punt return for a touchdown, and that's how the game ended, with a punt return.
Wow. And that's ironic because being there on the sidelines for all the way through late to the third quarter, the big difference I saw in the game up to that point was Anniston's speed. Not only on offense, but on defense, they were much faster, I think, than maybe anybody, including Catholic, that Andalusia had seen this year. But apparently there in the fourth quarter, they caught up and adjusted to that speed. The Anniston defense was shutting them down. Burnett, the great running back, didn't do much while we were there. You saw that touchdown run he had at the end, about 10 yards, where he pushed into the end zone. Before that, that was really only the big play he'd had. Really, it was the Caden Denson kid. He was the only guy that I saw on Andalusia's team that I thought at the time we were there that matched the speed that Anniston had. But this is a rich program. I was talking with Coach Taylor's daughter on the sideline, Paige, and we had a long conversation at the half, and just talking about the tradition of Andalusia. And we mentioned earlier in our extra point how 45 years ago they came to Calhoun County, won a state championship at Welborn by 7 points. I'll show my age. I was at that game back in 1977. They come to Calhoun County and win again tonight. People say tradition doesn't win, and Anniston's got a lot of tradition as well. People say tradition doesn't win ball games. Tradition where it helps, and you know this, Coach, because you coined the phrase, I think, at Heflin, tradition never graduates.
That's right.
And that is so true, because that knowing that you've done it in the past and that expectation to do it, I think fuels a school like Andalusia, who has such a rich tradition.
Yeah, and it's a team that most of us in the state have looked at. The 4 teams that played tonight. They were close games, and that's the way it should be in the quarterfinals. You had 4 really good football teams playing tonight with Anniston and Andalusia and Hanley and Catholic and Montgomery, and those games should have come down there to the end. But guess what? What did I say Andalusia won with? A punt return. What I say every week, special teams and kicking game is in the playoffs. The deeper you get, the more that kicking game becomes even more and more important.
Andalusia and Catholic now in a rematch. The first time they played at Andalusia, it was a win by Montgomery Catholic, 45-23. Now the rematch, this time it will be in Montgomery, a trip to the Super 7 on the line, and the South Alabama Championship in Class 4A. Gerhard, I think what is turning into, after tonight, the story of the year in high school football in this state is in Gadsden, Alabama, and we're not talking about the Titans. We're talking about the Coosa Christian Conquerors. What an incredible performance again this week. After beating Spring Garden last week, they come back home, and Coosa Christian is in the North Alabama Championship game of Class 1A, and they beat a very good Lynn team tonight.
Yeah, they certainly did. And I think one of the big things is that when you have high school football, just enthusiasts filling out their brackets, whether they fill it out tonight or tomorrow, I think a lot of people will be like, wait, the first round, and I think that Coosa Christian is now definitely on the statewide map, and I think we've seen this brewing for a while. I think even some of us might be a little surprised about how they're doing it, but Coach Mark O'Brien has a really young team. This team is basically sophomores, and it's a really young squad, a couple of seniors, but they just keep believing. They keep growing, and they keep showing that they're ready for the big stage. And we'll show you their Act 3 today. Today, facing the Lynn Bears. Coosa starting the game on offense is Jakar Mastella. He's had a great season, guys. And he has a big run here, cuts it up the middle for a big first down. He's got great vision, great athleticism as well. A few plays later, it is Coosa scoring. First points of the game, the field goal via Jaden Burns in his early 3-0 lead for the Conquerors. A little bit later on, it is Matthew Kale for Lynn. This time going up top, connects with Jacob Tidwell, and see the athleticism there from Tidwell. Big first down there. Few plays later, Lynn strikes again. It is Benjamin Kelly who plow through into the end zone, and the Bears grab the early lead. I don't know. I'm sure if that was a penalty or not. 7-0 early lead for Lynn. Coosa back on offense here as John David Justice connects with Jacoby Tucker. That's a big first down here through the air. Few plays later, you go back to Mostella. Cuts it back to the outside, scores a touchdown here. PAT is good, and the Conquerors now take the lead at 10-7. Lynn now back on offense. It is Tittle once again, but this time he calls his own number, carries the ball,
Big first down here right up the middle. You see speed all over the field here from the outside receivers. The quarterback, as well as Tittle, gets a big run there. A little bit later on, it's with his arm. This time finds Crimson Adamson for a touchdown. The PAT, though, is no good. And so now the deficit stays at 3 for Coosa Christian. It's now 13-10 Lynn. Now this time John David Justice would go deep. But this time it is Tidwell who breaks it up right here. Great defensive play on third down. Very next play, Justice throws a short pass to Mostella, and that's always a good thing. I don't know how the Bears left him this wide open, but he breaks through the Bears defense, and he is into the end zone. So after a big third down play for Lynn, Coosa Christian makes him pay on fourth down. The PAT is good. We now have a touchdown game, 17-13. Coosa Christian with the lead. Ensuing kickoff is Burns here. High onside kick, and it is recovered by Cleet O'Brien. A huge coach special teams play comes through for Coosa Christian. A few plays later, Justice finds O'Brien, and that is another Coosa Christian touchdown. The special teams sets up the offense for the score. You see your score in the game, 24-13 Coosa Christian. Lynn's next drive, it's Tittle once again. This time he finds Logan Madison for the touchdown. And just like that, a really quick answer by the Bears. And the score here from Tittles on the 2-point conversion, they had to go for it, back to a 3-point contest. It was back and forth as our Bailey Morris was there. But you see in the second half, it was Coosa Christian really putting it on them. But you saw there in the highlights that Bailey did a great job there showing the way the game progressed. That onside kick was monstrous. And then you have a big special teams play on the kickoff or the extra point that doesn't go. So, you kind of see the deficit. And no matter if Lynn was chasing points after that, it is Coosa Christian now into the semifinals.
We'll look at the 1A bracket in a moment. Coach Short, something else you said last week that you were spot on about. And it goes back to the fact that Coosa Christian has answered the bell with every challenge they've had this year. You said last week, this is going to be the only game in Etowah County. This is going to be the biggest crowd they ever played against. Did y'all notice in the background there? Did you see the packed house on both sides? The Lynn stands were packed. The Coosa stands were packed. Probably standing room only there at Philip Ellen Stadium. But Coosa, again, all these things that they've never experienced before, they have answered the challenge throughout this entire season.
Y'all look at the stands, I look at the fence.
Yeah.
Because that's when it gets crowded, when people are around the fence and those kids hear them. So they're up behind them. Whether it's good or bad, they hear them. But again, Coosa Christian last week on fourth down throws a 31-yard pass and catches it to set them up. Their last score of the game was a field goal, kicking game. How'd they open up this week? With a field goal.
Right.
So they won last week at the end of the game, opened up tonight with a kicking game. And the kicking game, you may think, well, Coach, that was only 2 field goals. But like the little kickoff that they was able to go down and recover.
High pooch kick.
Yeah, it's a pooch kick. Those things right there are momentum changers.
Yep.
And it was a close game, and then I look at the end.
Yep.
So the momentum is, you steal momentum in playoff games through your kicking game. And I promise you that Lynn never even thought that kick was coming. And early in the year, Coach O'Brien sat right there and talked about 20 minutes a day they work on their kicking game. He said it right there. He said it's one of the most important things that we work on, and it helped them out tonight. And it may be what gets them into that big game.
Guys, we talked about him sitting here first week, our first show. He was very confident about this team, very positive about this team. Well, they lost to Geraldine. Well, look at Geraldine. They wound up in the quarterfinals of the 3A playoffs. He was very confident about this team and what they could do. Scheduled a tough schedule. We talked about that. You go back 36 years ago, right up South 11th Street in Gadsden. Gadsden High, the old Gadsden High, went into the state playoffs with a record of 4-5. Won the state championship in Class 5A that year. Now we come forward. You got another team right down the street in Gadsden who went to the playoffs 6-4. Coosa Christian 6-4, not ranked. No one's talking about them. Didn't even win the region, and now they're in the North Alabama championship game. Hey, I think there's a lot of great stories going on in this state with high school football this year. I don't know that we've got one right now, guys, that is surpassing Coosa Christian and Gadsden. By far, this is the greatest season they've ever had in school history.
It is, and this week, they got to do it again because there'll be even more people. They'll have something to eat every game. Every night this week, people will be thinking, can we feed you? Can we feed you? So he might as well just take it all in, just like those girls from Oxford a while ago. You better enjoy it while it's happening.
We know they can feed us. We've been over there and experienced that over there. That night after the Geraldine game, they had a feast over there like you wouldn't believe. Speaking of 1A, time to go to our Oxford Festival of Lights brackets now. We've showed you the 7A bracket. Here's the 1A bracket in the South. The two quarterfinal games tonight. Surprises, not with really who won the game necessarily, but the margin of victory in the South. Leroy tonight moving down from 2A, pounded Brantley. Brantley was really kind of the preseason favorite, maybe to win 1A. Leroy beats them tonight at Leroy, 42-14. Meanwhile, Milry beats Sweetwater, the defending state champions, and they did this at Sweetwater at Nolan Atkins Stadium, 41-6. And this is the greatest season in Milry history. Milry now goes to Leroy. This will be a rematch of a regular season game that Leroy won, but it was close. That'll be an all Southwest Alabama matchup for the South Alabama Championship. Leroy number 6, Milry number 4. Milry comes in at 12-1 to the Wildcats, and Leroy is 11-1 for that South Alabama championship. North Alabama, we mentioned Coosa Christian's win over Lynn, 46-29 in Gadsden tonight. We also have highlights of this game coming from West Alabama. We're going to take you to Reform tonight, where there was a rematch between Pickens County and Marion County. The first time they played, Pickens County won the game 51-21. About the same result tonight. Pickens County over Marion County, 40-14. So your North Alabama championship game in Class 1A next week will be Coosa Christian traveling to Reform to take on Pickens County. And guys, as we talk about these matchups here, specifically that one, I said it last week and it's holding true again. The road to the 1A championship in the North, the 1A representative of the North, for the last several years now, has run through Pickens County. And every year, the voters vote them out of the top 10 because they lose to maybe a Gordo and they lose to Aliceville and they lose to these tough teams in West Alabama. But when it gets to 1A ball, Pickens County is always there, and they're there again. I think this is going to be a great matchup between the Tornadoes and the Conquerors.
Yeah, I think if you would have maybe had this game 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think the difference in the game would have been maybe 4 or 5 touchdowns. I think it's going to be a lot closer now. I think Coosa Christian has really found something offensively, defensively. Jakar Mostella has been fantastic, but you're right about Pickens County. This is one of those teams. This is one of those situations where been there, done that. All these guys that have played for Pickens County at some point, whether as a kid watching, as a manager, or as a player, have been a part of deep championship runs. Against Coosa Christian, none of them have. And so that'll be really interesting to see how that all plays out, because we've seen it play out really both ways. You can't just say one side's always better than the other. I think that both sides have an opportunity here in this matchup over in Pickens.
If I had a chance to talk to Coach O'Brien tonight, and I may call him at 2 o'clock in the morning. The biggest,
He'll be up, I think, right, after that, like tonight,
yeah, because normally he's on social media. The biggest thing he's going to have to work and do this week is Coosa Christian, not any of their players have ever practiced on Thanksgiving.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have ever played when they're going to be out of school. Now it used to be you get out of school on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Mm-hmm. Now people get out the whole week. Right. So he's got to deal with it probably the whole week, or at least for 3 days.
Right.
So all those people better get ready, because they're going to be eating Thanksgiving at the school. And that's something different. And they're going to have to travel a lot farther than they've ever traveled. So that's going to be interesting to see, how does Coosa Christian handle Thanksgiving holidays, because it's a big deal to learn how to be ready to get that week of practice in.
And it throws you off in so many ways. In ways, I mean, you've practiced, you've had the whole practice that week. I've practiced that week. It is so completely different from what you normally do. In a lot of ways, it's even way different from homecoming, because at least homecoming, you got distractions, but you're there, you're in school. In this situation, you're usually not.
I wouldn't be surprised if Coosa Christian checks out Johnson's Giant Foods. There's 3 locations there in Etowah County. One in Attala, one in Gadsden right up the street, one in East Gadsden. And you talk about Thanksgiving, folks, I'm just telling you, they have the best dressing that I have ever had in my entire life at Johnson's Giant Food in their deli, not to mention the turkey they have and the chicken fingers. Hey, you can go and get your entire Thanksgiving feast at Johnson's Giant Food in the deli. Just buy it all there. Feed the entire family, feed your whole crew. You can't go wrong. Johnson's Giant Food, bringing you our assistant coach of the week. By the way, we've got one more assistant coach of the week that'll get a $25 gift certificate from Johnson's Giant Food, and we'll have that coming up a little bit later on in the show. We come back, more of high school football Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank,
we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, Roanoke, and don't forget about our low price guarantee.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden on East Michigan Boulevard in East Gadsden, the place to go. If you are looking to trade in your car, Kevin Riggin and the folks over there will give you the top dollar for your trade-in. Maybe you just want to sell your car. Maybe you've got an extra car you want to get rid of and you're wanting the top dollar for that. They are buying your cars now and giving you the top dollar of anybody in East Alabama. So if you've got a car to trade, you've got a car that you want to sell, a used car, Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden is the place to go. East Michigan Boulevard in East Gadsden, the best people and the best prices, period, in East Alabama. We talked about Johnson's Giant Food bringing you the Assistant Coach of the Week. Our last Assistant Coach of the Week that will get that $25 gift certificate from Johnson's Giant Food is Chase Horn of Central Clay County High School. Yes, that is the son of the legendary Danny Horn. He's the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for the Volunteers. Been coaching for 9 years. He's a graduate of Southern Mississippi. Most folks may not know, but he played baseball for the Golden Eagles, earned his master's degree from Jacksonville State, and he now teaches math at Clay Central High School. As we said, he can come up here to Calhoun County to use his $25 gift certificate from Johnson's Giant Food, because there are also 2 locations in Calhoun County. We mentioned the locations in Etowah County, in Attala, downtown Gadsden, East Gadsden, but also in Jacksonville and in Coldwater. Our Johnson's Giant Food Assistant Coach of the Week, Chase Horn of Central High School of Clay County. We were all over the place. We said this at the very beginning tonight that we had highlights from Huntsville to Sylacauga, Reform to Piedmont, and all points in between. We're going to take you to Huntsville now. Big night for the Cherokee County Warriors. Principal Bobby Tittle was with us last week talking about the trip to Huntsville, to Sports Midfield, to take on Randolph. Randolph having their best season in school history, but Cherokee County having their best season in 13 years. And they're trying to do something they did 13 years ago, and that's win a state championship. And Gerhard, they did a big step forward tonight in trying to get to Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Yeah, facing up a really hot Randolph County, a Randolph football team. Not Randolph County, they had the same kind of bluish color, but Randolph High School, as John said, one of the best seasons ever. Let's take you to the Rocket City. 4A football in the north between
Cherokee County and Randolph. It's Andrew Hunter here. The nice little handoff to Nick Strong, and Strong muscles his way into the end zone. Raiders on the board first, an early 7-0 lead for Randolph. A little bit later on, Warriors don't stay down for long. It is Jacob Cornejo. Defense can't stop him. He's made plays all season long. He does it again. He gets a touchdown, but the extra point is no good, so it's a 7-6 lead for Randolph. You see the Warrior fans, they came out strong to Huntsville there. But it is once again the Raiders coming back the very next possession. It's Nick Strong again running right through the defense. A 14-6 lead here for Randolph. But it's Cade Harper this time to Malachi Horton. And watch as Horton turns on the Jets and he goes into the end zone for the touchdown. So Cherokee County once again answers back. Because they're down a couple, they go for 2 here. And guys, this is a really solid play from Coach Jacob Kelly and his guys. This ties the game up at 14 apiece. And Cherokee County would go on to have a huge second half here. As Randolph looked good early on, especially in the first half. But once again, it was Cherokee County that comes away with the win, largely in part to the second half. A lot we talked about with Andalusia having a great second half. Cherokee County does the exact same thing here. You see a great kickoff return, sets Cherokee County up in fantastic field position, and Cherokee County would go on to win it. Final score of 35-21. And John, you mentioned it, they've knocked on the door twice now in the third round. They've lost both games. The last time they won a third round game, they went 5-0 in the playoffs and held that state championship trophy in 2009.
Big win by Cherokee County. Randolph came in not only with the best team record-wise in school history for that private school in Huntsville, but they also had scored the most points of any team in school history. Cherokee County holding them to 21 points tonight. Jacob Kelly making me look good. I mean, there are 2 coaches that I really need to take my hat off to. That's Jacob Kelly, Cherokee County, and Adam Fawcett at B.B. Comer. Yeah. Because at the beginning of the season, I picked both of those teams number 2 in the state, and right now they're in the top 4. So even if they lose next week, they're still making look pretty good, because a lot of people were saying, Cherokee County, John, B.B. Comer, John, what are you talking about? Now there's some believers out there because we knew they were going to have a very good football team this year. Coach, let's talk about this Cherokee County team. Yeah. And I've said this before, balance. We saw it in the highlights there. They can throw the ball. They can run the ball. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of weapons on offense. They're a difficult team to stop.
I've seen Coach Kelly in the Cherokee County Warriors play twice this year, and I knew that they do have a lot of balance, but you can tell from his history when it comes time to run the football, he'll run it if he can. Yeah. And he'll try to slow the game down. And tonight they had 308 total yards. I just got this a while ago, so shout out to Matt McKenzie for getting this to me real quick. They had 308 yards, and only 74 of those was passing. But they were 4 of 5 completions. Threw it 5 times, 4 completions. But tonight, go ahead and help me. Jacob Cornejo. Did I get that right? I got it right.
Yeah, you got it right.
He had 29 rushes tonight for 185 yards and 3 touchdowns. And it looks like he, running wise, carried the load. Right. And you can see there on the 2-point conversion, when you can get 3 and 4 yards a lick, it's easy to go for 2 when you can do that.
The thing about him is, Coach, I think you probably saw him a little bit at their media day up in Cherokee County this summer. Cornejo. Thing about him is, if you look over these last 3 weeks, we're late in the season, he's carrying the ball 29 times a game, 30 times a game, 26 times a game. It's a lot of carries, but he's a durable guy because he's 215 pounds.
Well, there's a reason for that, too. As the season goes deeper and deeper in the playoffs, these teams that like to chunk it and throw it all the time. Did y'all notice the temperature tonight? Yeah. I wore sweats. I didn't have shorts on tonight, so it must have been cold. I mean, steam was coming out of your mouth. So as cold as it gets, a lot of those teams don't throw the ball, and quarterbacks may not play as well. Right. So the teams that can run the football well usually do well as we get deeper in the playoffs, especially when it's cold.
I'll tell you guys, I always go somewhere. This is our last show of the year, so I kind of turn into a spectator on semifinal night. Semifinal night, I'll tell you where I'm going to be. I'm going to be at Bobby Joe Johnson Field at center, because the matchup that we have is a rematch, the North Alabama championship game between Center and Oneonta. First time they played early in the season. They played early in the season, very early. I think week 3, they played in Oneonta at Gilbreth Stadium. Etowah had a 14-3 lead in the fourth quarter. Oneonta came back and won 17-14.
Cherokee County.
Oneonta came back and beat Cherokee County.
Right. Yes.
Cherokee County had the lead 14-3. Oneonta came back and beat them. So now the rematch. This time it's going to be in center on the turf up there. 2 football towns.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the crowd and the electricity that's going to be in center next Friday night
sky high.
with Cherokee County taking on Oneonta in this rematch. Both teams have gotten better since then. It is going to be like high school football. Why I want to go to that is this is what high school football is all about, is this kind of game between Cherokee County and Oneonta.
And Cherokee County has a good kicking game.
Yeah.
They have a great kicker that can kick the ball deep. They can pooch kick it and get with a lot of height. And he does a great job of punting. I saw that when they played Etowah. He was probably the difference in the game was their kicking game that night. And it'll be a big difference this week.
Yeah, exactly. And to go to your point about the atmosphere, I expect it to be great because both fan bases travel really well. You saw the crowd. There was some great shots there of the crowd that went to Huntsville. And so now that they're going to be back in center, I expect them to have a good crowd. And, of course, Oneonta to once again bring a great crowd on Black Friday.
Well, they say revenge is a dish best served cold. It could be cold next Friday night up in center, and you know the folks from Cherokee County are looking to get some revenge and go to the Super 7. Let's take a look at our brackets now in Class 4A. This is our Oxford Festival of Lights brackets. Here's the South. Had 2 local teams trying to get to the semifinals and rematch with each other, but it didn't happen tonight. Great effort by Anniston. Andalusia, you saw the highlights earlier, coming from behind to win at Anniston, 35-28. Hanley had a lead as well on Montgomery Catholic in Montgomery tonight, but Montgomery Catholic comes back and wins the game 21-14. So next week, the rematch, the South Alabama Championship game in Montgomery. Montgomery Catholic coming in at 13-0. They are at home, but just a little note here, they have 16 straight road wins. They have the longest road winning streak of anybody in the state. They have scored the most points of anybody in Alabama this year. #1 offense in the state. Andalusia, of course, comes in 12-1, and Catholic comes in at 13-0. Andalusia's only lost to Montgomery Catholic 45-22 back at midseason. The North Alabama Championship, we talked about it. Oneonta, impressive tonight. Playing at home at Gilbert Stadium. Deshler came in with the longest winning streak in the state in any class. They had won 13 straight games. Oneonta blasted them 62-21 tonight. You see Cherokee County's win over Randolph 35-21. So your North Alabama championship game next week at Bobby Joe Johnson Field in center. That will be the game between Oneonta and Cherokee County. Cherokee County 11-2. Oneonta comes in at 11-1. Be a great high school football game on the night before the Iron Bowl next Friday night in center. Back with more of high school football Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission as we roll on a football Friday night.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cash Back account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. Noblebank.com. Member FDIC.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
Hi, this is Kevin Riggin, General Manager here at Team One Chevrolet in Gadsden, and your local Chevy guy. I want to buy your vehicle today. Let me put an offer on your car and pay you right on the spot. I can get you in a new vehicle or put the cash in your hand for your vehicle. Either way, we can make you a great deal. Bring your vehicle to me here at Team One Chevrolet in Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period, and the most money for your ride.
Anniston Orthopedics, Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy with their Saturday morning sports clinic going on at the third floor of the Tyler Center in Anniston. Saw Dr. Kenneth Vandervoort tonight up on the Anniston sidelines, taking great care of folks, athletes, non-athletes, whatever ailments you got. Come to the Sports Medicine Clinic Saturday mornings, 8 a.m., located on the third floor of the Tyler Center in Midtown Anniston. Back on high school football, Alabama after the game, joined by our friend Joshua Kraft from Choccolocco Park in Oxford, also big high school football fan. He was at the Piedmont game tonight. Coach Short had to leave early. You stayed to the end, so we'll get a little report on that. We'll talk some 6A football as well. Joshua, glad to have you with us once again on the show. It's a Friday night tradition through the years to have you with us. Glad to have you with us on this football Friday night.
As always, thanks for having me, John. It's always good to come up here and talk football with you. Yeah, I was at the Piedmont game, and that was a heck of a game, though. That was the thing that I noticed, and Piedmont was down 7-0 at the end of the first half. But I sit over there with one of the staff members, Jerry Snow, who taught me at Oxford High School, and you know, they're getting beat 7-0, and here comes Coach Smith, and he's just calm as he can be.
Yeah, they've been there and done this before. Yeah.
But and this is what I always say. You know, first round you might have a couple fluke wins. Second round probably a few less. Third round you're going to see the coaches, and you're going to always bet on the coaches. When
Piedmont,
you get to the third and fourth
as
round.
you said, they were down 7-0 at halftime, and they dominated the second half. Gordo had an 84-yard touchdown run the last play of the third quarter to tie it back up at 14-14 after Piedmont had come out and dominated the third quarter and went up 14-7 after being down 7-0. But the whole second half, apart from that one play, Piedmont, it appears, dominated the game. We're going to see some highlights of this a little bit later on in the show, but Piedmont outscoring Gordo 27-7 in that second half, and that's just what Piedmont does.
Yeah, and there was another, and Gordo, all credit to them because they had some really explosive ball players and some really explosive plays. But, Piedmont and Jack Hayes, the athlete of the year, hands down, he just, just the way that he can get out of the pocket and make something out of nothing. And when I say something out of nothing, I mean not 3 or 4 yards. He's going to get you a first down. He might even score a touchdown from 30 yards away. And it's just something else. And his supporting cast is, they're always good to have some guys that can catch the ball and block. But it was a very good game.
Jack Hayes has got all these passing records, but he's probably most dangerous running the football. That's what Piedmont did. The ground game, very good for the Bulldogs tonight. We'll see some highlights of that coming.
He just keeps adding to his records. It's going to be tough to beat his records.
I think so. He'll have just about every offensive record there is for a quarterback in the state of Alabama. I want to talk with you just very briefly here about things coming up at Choccolocco Park. You're the marketing director for Choccolocco Park right now. We had Lori Denton on earlier talking specifically about Festival of Lights. That's kind of the wintertime thing, but it won't be long till springtime, and you'll be cranking it back up again. And Choccolocco Park has become the premier athletic facility, I think, in the state of Alabama, and especially during the month of May. May brings the AHSAA State Baseball Championships and Softball Championships, both to Choccolocco Park, really at the same time. Real feather in the cap for the city of Oxford and all of East Alabama. I know Jacksonville State helps out with that as well, especially on the baseball end of things, helping host those championship games. Great partnership. But you got college things going on. Tell us what's happening at Choccolocco Park in 22-23 besides the state championship games returning back to Oxford.
And those are the best ones that we have, and that's a credit to our director, Don Hudson, and Greg Backley, our athletic director, who have a great working relationship with the AHSAA and Alvin Briggs and the rest of his staff. But, you know, we're having the Gulf South Conference softball, baseball championships. We're having the Alabama Community College Conference baseball championships. We're having Pro Day, where the Major League Baseball scouts come and view some of the high schoolers around, and that's going to be in April or May. You know, we have a big spring break tournament that Coach Brooks puts on for us. We have more college stuff coming. We're trying to get some track and field meets for colleges, and they're looking. Soccer, I mean, we're just rolling along, and that's not, you know, this. I have forgotten many things that are going on in May, but we are rolling.
And it's not just May. I know you had the Bat League this year with the Choccolocco Monsters, had their home field down there, and that was a big success as well. A lot of special events that happen out there, and I think you got some surprises, you told me earlier.
Well, and there might be another professional sports team or so coming.
Wow.
Who knows? But, and yeah, and just in the way of us doing some capital things, you know, just on the building end and stuff, and we're looking to expand. You know, we just got a bond issue, and we're looking to expand the park. And don't forget about Oxford Lake. We're fixing to, well, and actually at Choccolocco Park, we're building an outdoor fitness court, or an outdoor fitness area for the citizens of Oxford and the area that'll be sponsored by some big corporations. I think Blue Cross Blue Shield and maybe a hospital is sponsoring that. We're having disc golf. They want to add holes to disc golf. We're getting a pump track, which is where your skateboarders and rollerbladers and your scooter people and all that, and that's hopefully going to be at Oxford Lake in the coming months. But I mean, we got a bunch of stuff going on that we're looking to just improve the quality of life for the East Alabama residents and our visitors, of course.
Yeah, I take advantage of that. I love to go out there and put some miles in on the track around the lake.
We see.
And talk about if folks want to find out more information, got a great website there, social media. How do folks see what's going on? There's a calendar up. There'll be a calendar up of the events that are coming up, and you can know everything going on at Choccolocco Park.
Yeah, and all you got to do is Google Choccolocco Park. But if you want to, you can go to choccoloccopark.com, and we have an up-to-date calendar. Of course, our social media, you know, we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think we have a Snapchat. I don't know anything about Snapchat, but I'm sure that we do, or TikTok, whatever they call it. I don't know.
Got it all. Choccolocco Park.
But social media is going to be, you know, for stuff like rain delays and things like that we might be having. That's going to be the place to go. But if you just want to see a calendar and go ahead and see and just plan your May to come see some excellent softball, baseball, soccer, even track and field and stuff that we're hosting, go and look at that calendar on choccoloccopark.com.
Joshua, hang in here with me. You're an Oxford guy, obviously. Oxford's a 6A school. We're going to our Oxford Festival of Lights brackets right now and taking a look at Class 6A, where, boy, do we have some games tonight. We thought the game of the night was going to be in Class 5A. We'll tell you about that a little bit later on, but it turned out it was in Class 6A tonight down in South Alabama at Saraland. Saraland and Homewood tonight. That is a correct score. That's not the basketball score. That is the quarterfinal football score. Saraland won over Homewood 57-56 tonight down in Mobile County. Homewood was down big, but they outscored Saraland 29-6 in the last 4.5 minutes of the game to force overtime. And then in the overtime, Homewood went for two to try to win it, and Saraland stopped them on the 1-yard line to win the game. Saraland advances now to the South Alabama championship game with a 57-56 overtime win over the Homewood Patriots. And then Theodore and St. Paul's playing each other tonight. That was just down the road, right down I-65 at Theodore. Saraland, the north part of the county. Theodore in the south end of the county. Theodore was in a rematch tonight with St. Paul's Episcopal. Same results as the first time. Number 1 Theodore beating St. Paul's 28-0. So a rematch of a regular season game. Theodore beat Saraland in the regular season. They'll rematch again. The game will be at Theodore. Theodore number 1 in the final poll, 13-0. Saraland number 4 in the final poll. They are 12-1 with that only loss coming to Theodore. The best season in Theodore Bobcat history. Can they win one more? Can they beat Saraland twice and get to the Super 7 in Auburn? We'll find out next week. In North Alabama in Class 6A, and this is where Oxford hangs out, is in the North and 6. And they played a couple of these teams right here, Oxford did. They played Hartselle earlier in the year at home. Hartselle fell tonight to Mountain Brook 49-30 in that game over at Mountain Brook. And also Gardendale, the team who put Oxford out of the playoffs tonight, they lost. I think we've got that reversed. They lost to Muscle Shoals. Muscle Shoals beat Gardendale 38-7. We'll get that corrected. So that is actually going to be Mountain Brook and Muscle Shoals playing each other. And that game will be played at Muscle Shoals next week. Mountain Brook number 7 in the final poll at 11-2. Muscle Shoals with that win tonight over Gardendale, they go to 11-1. And Mountain Brook will now travel to play in the Shoals at Muscle Shoals next week. Again, we've got that incorrect there. Muscle Shoals actually beat Gardendale, and it will be Muscle Shoals and Mountain Brook playing for the 6A championship. And that tells you a young Oxford team, Joshua, playing 2 of the top 4 teams in North Alabama, Hartselle in the regular season, and then Gardendale in the playoffs. But good things ahead for Oxford as they have a great sophomore class that's coming up.
That's right. You know, we got sophomore. You know, when we're playing sophomores and freshmen this year a lot, but you know, look for big things from Oxford, and they're in one of the toughest regions in the state too.
And no doubt, there's no doubt about that when you got folks like Clay Chalkville and Pinson Valley and Center Point, who had a really great year as well this year. Joshua, thank you for being with us here on High School Football Alabama. After the game, as we go to break, it is time for our next Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden Extra Point of the night. The 2022 Super 7 State Football Championships set for November 30th through December 2nd at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn. Wednesday, November 30th, will feature the Oxford Yellow Jackets and the Hoover Bucks in flag football, and the Class 7A Championship will follow at 7 p.m. The flag football game will be at 2 p.m. Thursday's schedule will have the 3A, 1A, and 5A games at 11, 3, and 7, and the Friday games will be classes 2A, 4A, and 6A following the same schedule. Tons of highlights, more brackets as we roll on a Football Friday night.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did. When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, or Roanoke. And don't forget about our low price guarantee.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cash Back account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. noblebank.com, member FDIC.
For the last couple of weeks, we have been telling you about this great partnership between Grub Mart and Big Time Entertainment in Oxford. Here's the deal. Go right now, spend $20, even tomorrow, at any Grub Mart location. And when you spend $20, whether it be on gas, whether it be on some of those great Oreo donuts, whether you're buying some bags of ice and all your refreshments and things like that, and you will receive a $10 voucher from Big Time Entertainment in Oxford, so you can go down there and throw axes, drive go-karts, play putt-putt golf, bowl, whatever you want to do. Great deal there. $20 at any Grub Mart, a $10 voucher from Big Time Entertainment in Oxford. Young Oil Grub Mart is headquartered, their world headquarters is in Piedmont, Alabama. And Piedmont, the home of the Bulldogs tonight. We were there. Coach Short was there. Gerhard, you were there tonight. The more things change in high school football, the more things stay the same. One thing that has been constant for the last decade plus is the Piedmont Bulldogs. When it comes Thanksgiving time, Coach, you mentioned Thanksgiving. Piedmont Bulldogs, on Thanksgiving, they are still playing football, and this is no exception. Another impressive performance tonight by the Bulldogs at home against a very good Gordo Green Wave team coming from the Mississippi line to the Georgia line tonight.
Yeah, most certainly. And Coach, you were there, and you'll have some opportunities to talk about some of your observations, and I had some as well. But another thing I found interesting going into this matchup, Gordo had been to the third round of the playoffs 7 of the last 9 years. Mm-hmm. Piedmont had been to the third round of the playoffs 8 straight years. Mm-hmm. But somehow, some way, they've never played one another this deep into the season. It was just kind of weird. I know Gordo flirted a little bit with Class 4A for a couple of years, but outside of that, they've been in Class 3A. So I thought it was very crazy. This is the first ever time these two get together. To the Field of Champions we go over at Piedmont for this great battle. 11-1 Gordo, 10-2 Piedmont. Both teams only allowed 20 points in the first 2 games, outscored their opponents nearly 90-20 in the first 2 games of the playoffs. There you see Piedmont coming into the Field of Champions. Jack Hayes chasing several records, but early on it was Gordo's defense getting the best of him early on. This pass picked off here by Cortland Taylor, and Gordo with the football, but Piedmont's defense steps up as well. Brax Garrison, who's had a really good season for Gordo, he goes up top, but this pass nicely played by Cody Holloway, broken up here. So great plays in the secondary by both teams. A little bit later on, it is Raleigh Pinto on the pass from Hayes, and he gets about 12 yards here, first down, but the drive would end up stalling. Very next possession for Gordo, CJ Lark. This kid is fast, fly, and he does so right there, right up the middle of the Piedmont defense. 61 yards later, that is your first point to the ball game. PAT is good. Gordo takes a 7-0 lead early on. Then a little bit later on, it is Holloway on the carry this time. Gets the ball into the red zone here. A little bit later on, watch this pass here by Jack Hayes. Somehow, some way, Gordo comes up with the interception. This was so good, guys. I was like, I have to slow it down and show you the way that this happened. Watch here as Cole Somerville somehow ends up picking this one off, and Gordo gets an interception. There you see deep in their own territory. But that drive stalls. A little bit later on, Jack Hayes rolls out looking for Holloway. And Holloway talked about great catches. He comes up with a great catch. And you know what I said, guys? Let's just go replay happy. I said, I'll show you this one as well. You can only appreciate it. You can only appreciate it by just doing that. Like that pass and that catch was insane there. And that kept that drive alive, kept the momentum going. And then this run here by Raleigh Pinto, and the drive ends up the exact same way as the other one. Piedmont knocking on the door of the end zone, but Gordo comes up with the turnover. Once again, it is Somerville. And this time Somerville on offense. The pass from Brax Garrison picks up a first down here, but that drive would stall as well. So Piedmont now, late in the second quarter, trying to get some points before halftime. Jack Hayes, you can always dial him up, 17 yards there. A little bit later on, though, Gordo's defense comes up with a big sack here on Jack Hayes. So about 0.8 seconds, 0.7 seconds, Piedmont looking for some points right before halftime.
There you see the miscue on special teams. Coaches talk about special teams all the time. Gordo takes a 7-0 lead, very happily to do so because Piedmont knocked on the door 2 times. And it's one of those things where the highlights are deceiving. It shows you saw Gordo, but it's Piedmont that comes away with a great second half. But just because Gordo played well in that first half, Piedmont didn't score, but Piedmont drove down there 2 different times. One interception on a crazy play by Somerville and another fumble on a great play by the Gordo defense. But Coach, you saw it as well. It's one of those things to me where Piedmont played just well enough and they kept that belief in the second half, and I think that's what got them the win.
Yeah, you knew when they got going, like at halftime, I said, well, they'll come out and they're not going to throw it many times. I think they threw it twice.
Yeah.
The second half, yeah. And that's one of those when the throwing game just wasn't on. You know, whether it be weather, whether it be they're still trying to find out whether they've had some injured players. They got some other guys in. The Probst kid didn't play again tonight, but when it come down to it in the second half, it come down to the offensive line finally taking over because they outsized.
Right.
You know, Gordo wasn't really a big football team up front, but their offensive line took over. Jack Hayes took over as far as running the football. And when I was leaving, you could see the crowd starting to get into it.
Yeah.
Gordo went from being real loud to real quiet, and it got real physical. And you knew in that fourth quarter that Piedmont was going to just take over. I mean, that's what they do. But just the Jack Hayes, I guess you'd call it the Jack Hayes show, because Jack Hayes was only 207 yards away from breaking DeMarcus Russell's all-time record as far as yards, but he could care less about that. Right. Just figure out how to win the football game, put it in my hands, and let's go. Throwing's not on tonight, let's run the football. And that's really how they were going to have to win, because the only way Gordo scored twice was 2 big plays.
Exactly.
They had another big play in the second half, but 2 big plays, and really, to me, the game tonight was won because Piedmont's defense played so well.
Exactly, and they played very well in the secondary. I think a lot of people had some questions about the Piedmont defense matching up player for player, but you saw, for the most part, looking through a camera, I really can't a lot of times tell the coverages, but it looks like a lot of times they were fine leaving their guys out, covering one-on-one deep and making big plays in the secondary. And I thought that was another great thing from this Piedmont team, Coach Blanchard and that staff on defense, doing a really good job of making Gordo earn everything. And as you mentioned, the only time that they were able to get stuff was when they were able to score on a big play.
Well, they were going to force Gordo into throwing the football or running the football.
Right.
Because you could tell by the way they were lining up defensively, they were trying to take away the intermediate routes.
Right.
Which they kept trying to force it in there and doing, but the 2 plays they scored were just 2 big long running plays.
Right.
And
right.
Piedmont gave that up, but when it all comes down to it, Piedmont's going to sit there and run the football with Jack Hayes and run the clock down. And once they got ahead at 14, I was leaving and you texted me back and said, what's 14-14? I said, how did that happen? I mean, just
84 yards on the last play of the third quarter.
Yes, another big play.
Guys, the thing about Jack Hayes is the epitome of what this Piedmont program has been about to me. Because if you look at major college football rosters, you're not going to find one player from Piedmont, Alabama playing in the SEC, playing at big-time college football on the FBS level. You're just not. That's just not what they do. But they have great high school football players. Jack Hayes, probably not going to be playing for Alabama or Auburn, not going to be playing in the SEC or anything like that. But he's going to hold every record in the state for a quarterback, and he is a great high school football player. And that, to me, is what the Piedmont program, since Steve Smith has been there, they have good players. They don't have elite 5-star talent players, but they win championships with great high school football players.
Great high school football players that believe they can win.
Yeah.
And they're well coached, because when you look at their secondary, they do not intimidate you.
Right.
By looks.
Exactly, yeah.
And the receivers from Gordo, like, oh, wow. I mean, you're looking down and look here and then look there.
Look at this.
But
look
then
at
they throw the ball. I said, man, it's going to be a touchdown. Gordo's kid's 10 yards past Piedmont's kid, and all of a sudden he catches up. He does everything perfect, bats the ball away. Well-coached football team, but it's not just Coach Smith, it's the whole town, it's the whole community. Everything that they do is geared toward the football team, even before the game.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, guys.
Here we go. I know where this is going.
You got to know, before the ball game, their booster club has got to be one of the top booster clubs around, because they can cook. Tried to get you to get there early to get there. But when I walk up, they said, Coach Sword, come here, we got something for you. So I walk up and I'm thinking, what do you got? He said, I want you to try this. I said, what is it? I just want you to try it. Well, I'm not eating anything that they haven't told me what it is. It is a grilled pork loin taco.
Wow.
I've never heard of that in my life, but that sounds good. What was on it?
Well, they take these pork loins and they get them cut up and they grill them, and then they put them out there on another grill, and they get all these different cheeses, and then they put that pork loin in that cheese and get it to melt onto that pork loin. And then they put a little onion in there, and then they slide it over there on a fresh taco, and they roll it up and they hand it to you, and it's up to you then to put whatever you want to put on it. Look, I've had the steak sandwich at Spring Garden. I've had Valley Dogs at Alexandria. I had a Philly cheesesteak sandwich at Welborn. But I'm telling you, I may have to stop at Piedmont next week before I go to Center. Because I'm going to get me another one of those tacos if they have them, because that stuff is fine. Hats off to their Booster Club. They do a great job of feeding those, the Booster Club people. And I just had to be one of them go by. You were just late.
Yeah, well, I was there in time, but I knew if I knew I would have stopped by there, I probably would have missed the first quarter of the game. Probably doing what you were doing, eating the tacos. But that's the thing. And to the bigger point that you were making, the whole community is behind this football team's football program and this athletics program in general. And hats off to you to be.
And by the way, if you'd have eaten that taco, you would not have got those great highlights.
I
That
was
has to
gonna
be the
say,
highlight, the highlight of the year. I'm telling you, buddy. Both of them were highlights of the year. And man, you did a great job.
I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I have no way to segue into the Class 3A brackets. So let's just go to our Oxford Festival of Lights Class 3A brackets. We'll tell you about everybody in Class 3A besides the Bulldogs. We'll begin in the South. That St. James team in Montgomery, my state championship pick back in our High School Football Alabama magazine in the summer was Piedmont and St. James. That's looking pretty good right now. St. James beat a really good Thomasville team and program 40-15 tonight in Montgomery. Meanwhile, Mobile Christian beat Pike County of Brundage 27-7 tonight. That game was at Brundage. And so next week, great matchup. This is going to be Mobile Christian now 10-3. And you're saying, John, that's not their record. I saw the other day where they've only won like 5 games. Those were forfeits. I don't count that. I count what happens on the field at High School Football Alabama. And on the field, Mobile Christian is 10-3. Mobile Christian 10-3. St. James 11-2. That game will be in Mobile next Friday night for the Class 3A South Alabama Championship. Winner goes to Jordan-Hare Stadium to take on the winner of Sylvania and Piedmont. Sylvania beat Geraldine the first time, 41-24 by 17 points. Tonight they played at Sylvania. Rematch, Sylvania beat Geraldine by about the same margin, 27-7. Meanwhile, you see Piedmont there over Gordo, 27-14. So next week a rematch. The first time they played at the Field of Champions in Piedmont early in the season, I believe that was back in September. Piedmont beat Sylvania 40-7. So the rematch next Friday night, again at the Field of Champions in Piedmont, the Piedmont Bulldogs and the Sylvania Rams for the North Alabama Championship game in Class 3A. And they may just have some pork loin tacos. If you're special enough to get into the hospitality cabin that they have there behind the stadium at the Field of Champions in Piedmont. Time for our next Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden Extra Point. Heading into tonight's quarterfinal round of the AHSAA playoffs, the top 2 seeds from each region of the state had combined to win 87% of all wins in the second round of the playoffs. Road teams were very successful in round 2 as well, with the visiting team winning 28 of the 52 games, or 54% of the contest. We got highlights from all over the state, more brackets as we roll on a Football Friday night, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
My dad taught me to fish right here years ago. But when an old sports injury started slowing him down, I knew we'd need to search for the latest procedures in knee and hip replacement, with physical therapy tailored to his needs, a dedicated team of doctors and nurses, and he'd want a fast recovery time. So where'd he find all that?
Right here at RMC.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
Hi, this is Kevin Riggin, General Manager here at Team One Chevrolet in Gadsden, and your local Chevy guy. I want to buy your vehicle today. Let me put an offer on your car and pay you right on the spot. I can get you in a new vehicle or put the cash in your hand for your vehicle. Either way, we can make you a great deal. Bring your vehicle to me here at Team One Chevrolet in Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period, and the most money for your ride.
We are about to bring you more Red Threads highlights as we take you to Sylacauga in just a moment. Red Threads powered by O-Brand. Don't forget to visit On the Square in Jacksonville. Their great storefront they have there. The best selection of quality Jacksonville State University merchandise. Just a great store, a neat place to visit. If you're ever on the square in Jacksonville, make sure you go in Red Threads. You'll love the atmosphere in there. They also provide our Anniston Orthopedic score shirts for our team of the week. They're the ones that produce those high quality, great t-shirts. Your screen printing needs, they can handle that as well. Red Threads, powered by O-Brand. Back on high school football, Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Gerhard Mathangani, Coach Michael Short with us, hanging out on this football Friday night. Got a lot of folks I know, got some Andalusia fans listening to us, going back down to the Andy, to the heart of South Alabama. And we got folks all over watching us here on this football Friday night. Great 2A game tonight. One of the better matchups I thought going in, I think it lived up to the billing tonight, was the game between B.B. Comer and Reeltown at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga in Class 2A quarterfinal round action. And this B.B. Comer team, if anybody doubted that they were for real, because that was a good Reeltown team, not only a good Reeltown team, but a Reeltown team that was playing well also. Yeah. And B.B. Comer wins, they're going to the state semifinals.
Yeah, this is a really strong B.B. Comer team. John picked them in as a number 2 team in the state at the beginning of the season. They got off to a little bit of a rough start, but they're really playing well here lately. They've had now 5 appearances. Now this makes the 6th appearance in school history into the 3rd round. They went last year, so they went back-to-back for the 6th round, or into the 2nd round, win in the 2nd round, going to the 3rd. Now can they take that next step for the first time since 1995? Let's see how they did against Reeltown. Over to Sylacauga we go, over at Legion Stadium there in Sylacauga. It is the visiting Reeltown Rebels getting off to the hot start early on. Arthur Woods punches it in for the score, but they would go for 2 and miss it. So the Tigers answer back with a touchdown of their own a couple drives later. Devin Harvey finds the corner off the bootleg, gets into the end zone, and so Coach Adam Fawcett has a decision to make. He goes for 2, runs the exact same play, and they get it. So B.B. Comer takes the lead 8-6 here. The hometown crowd absolutely loving it at B.B. Comer. A guy that we talked about at the beginning of the season, Kamari Harris, we knew he was going to be good. He's a big physical running back. Here, he punches it in for an 8-yard touchdown run. That gave B.B. Comer a 14-8 lead. A little bit later on, that drive would be stopped there. You see the lights flashing there at Sylacauga, and B.B. Comer getting a big game today against Reeltown. We'll take a look at how they finished up today as B.B. Comer once again getting the win. So you see that record, those 2 losses early in the season, but they're now back into the semifinals, guys, for the first time since 1995. Congratulations to Coach Adam Fawcett and company, punched their ticket with a win today.
Yeah, that was that 95, that was like Telly Embry, right? Former Auburn running back. That was that team, I believe, that played down there for Coach Overton down at B.B. Comer. So probably the best team they've had since that team. B.B. Comer, let's start with Harris. that guy that you just saw, that train that rolled into the end zone, that guy's a 10th grader. And he's like 6 foot, 230 pounds. Already SEC schools looking at him for good reason. You see it there at the 2A level. He is phenomenal, but he's not all they have. This is a really very good quality B.B. Comer team that could very easily, obviously they're in the semifinals. They got the Highland Home Flying Squadron coming in next week. We'll see that in our 2A brackets here in just a moment. But Adam Fawcett, the job he's done at B.B. Comer, wasn't that too many years ago where B.B. Comer coach struggled to win a game. And now here they are a step away from being at Jordan-Hare Stadium in the Super 7.
And he's done a great job, not just developing a football team, but he does a good job of developing great character amongst his kids. He always has. And to watch them, you knew that, we talk about defense traveling, but running game travel in the playoffs, especially on a cold night. Those guys from Reeltown, they're a little bit farther south. I bet you it wasn't 35 degrees in Reeltown.
Yeah.
So the farther north you come, those teams have to come by. Andalusia come tonight, it gets colder. So when that big guy pounds on you, it gets harder and harder to tackle him in the third and fourth quarter. I can only imagine what it was like for them to try to tackle him. But I promise you, Reeltown's never been to a ball game when the lights start flashing. They don't go places where the lights start flashing, and that can be intimidating to a team. To look, because you start looking around and seeing all that kind of stuff. So that was a advantage. And you may not think it's much, but any advantage you can get in the playoffs is something big. They have not seen the lights flash in Reeltown, Alabama.
And none of their opponents have had that kind of thing. But we're seeing it everywhere across high school sports. One of the things I want to point out is just piggybacking off what you talked about, John. 2016, 2017, 2018, those 3 seasons, they won 5 games combined. And now, not only were they just in trouble, even just trying to find 12, 11 players that will actually go out and play football, now they're thriving. And so it's one thing to just go out and have some good respectable teams, win 5, 6, 7 games, maybe sneak into the playoffs. But they're making deep playoff runs, and it feels like overnight. But I know Coach Fawcett and his crew have done a really good job of really laying down their philosophy, and then getting the guys in the building to buy in, and once they have the guys in the locker room, getting them to buy in as well, and the results are paying off.
And as we go to the 2A brackets here in just a moment, what you just said, Gerhard, I think last year came into play. A lot of returnees off this team. This was a team that only lost quarterfinals last year to eventual state champion Clark County by a touchdown. And they had their chances to win that game, obviously. And I think when you know, hey, that was the state champion. That could have been us in Birmingham. That could have been us winning it. You bring all those guys back. Now you make that deep playoff run. There's a confidence level there that they know now that they have a legitimate shot at getting to the Super 7. Let's take a look now at our Oxford Festival of Lights brackets, Class 2A in the South. You see the final there. B.B. Comer beating Reeltown 28-22, and Highland Home in Clark County. Last year, this was the South Alabama Championship game. They played at Clark County last year, and Clark County won the game en route to a state championship 42-21. Tonight, the game was at Highland Home, and Highland Home totally turned the tables almost around. They lost by 21 last year, won by 19 tonight, including a shutout. So next week, here's the matchup. 11-2, B.B. Comer, ranked number 6 in the last poll. Highland Home, the Flying Squadron, number 5 in the last poll at 12-1. Highland Home, B.B. Comer, the winner goes to Jordan-Hare Stadium. That will be at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga, the South Alabama Championship game next Friday night. And in the North, no surprise here, the Fife Red Devils beating Tuscaloosa Academy tonight up at Paul Benefield Stadium in Fife, 35-7. Tuscaloosa Academy, first year in the AHSAA, and they go to the quarterfinals. Hats off to the Knights. And then Pisgah tonight, upending Aliceville. People have been telling us, I'm telling you, Pisgah's the second best team in the North behind 5. Pisgah proving that tonight as they beat Aliceville 26-22 up at Sam Kinnemer Stadium in Pisgah. So next week, another rematch in the North Alabama Championship game. Fife and Pisgah. Fife beat Pisgah 40-6 just about a month or so ago. So a tough task for the Pisgah Eagles as they go into Fife next week. Fife, the number 1 team in the state, 13-0. Pisgah, number 8, comes in with a mark of 11-2. And that is your Class 2A bracket now as we take a look at the Class 2A state playoffs in our Oxford Festival of Lights brackets. Let's talk about the Calhoun County Commission and just great men and women that serve this county so very well throughout the entire year. They support the arts in the county, recreational opportunities as well, and they also have great new opportunities like Woodland Park, just developed in the last couple of years since they took that over from the city of Anniston. The horse trails at McClellan. They support things like High School Football Alabama after the game and the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame, our local schools, all of our local communities. Calhoun County Commission bringing you High School Football Alabama after the game. When we come back, we've got more highlights, more brackets. We'll have a segment where we go through all the brackets at one time so you get every score in the state. That's still to come on After the Game.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, Roanoke, and don't forget about our low price guarantee.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Cash back, plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cash Back account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. Noblebank.com. Member FDIC.
There's a lot to think about when you're having a baby. Colors of the nursery, names, and most importantly, where to deliver.
We want a hospital that gives families a more personalized birthing experience.
With a compassionate team of doctors and nurses, and a hospital where my baby and I can instantly bond with all the comforts of home.
So where do we find all that?
Right here at RMC, the first designated baby-friendly hospital in Alabama.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
We are coming to you tonight from the RMC Media Center on the beautiful campus of Parker Memorial Baptist Church on Quintard Avenue in Midtown Anniston. This is the home, our home of High School Football Alabama after the game. RMC has new primary care doctors at all of their family practice locations. They're now taking new patients in Oxford, Anniston, Jacksonville, and Roanoke with new doctors, Dr. Brooke Carroll, Dr. Trey Emerson, and Dr. Bridget Gibson. Back on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. More highlights coming our way. We're everywhere tonight. Gerhard back for 2 weeks in a row at Gilbert Stadium in Oneonta tonight. And there were some shockers around the state tonight, obviously. But maybe the biggest shocker was not that Oneonta, because I thought Oneonta would win this game, but not that Oneonta beat Deshler. But I don't think anybody saw Oneonta beating Deshler 62-21 tonight. A 41-point win by the Redskins over a Deshler team who was undefeated and had the longest winning streak in the state. And Oneonta just chopped them down tonight.
And had beaten Etowah the week before.
Right, that's exactly right. I mean, that's another one of these kind of helmet games, so to speak. You talked about it last week with Etowah and Deshler being one of those helmet games. And then this week, obviously, two really prime-time powerhouse teams, but one team, as John mentioned, just completely dominated today. Let's go out to Oneonta. Nice matchup here between these two teams, coming all the way from Tuscumbia is Deshler
And this is a guy I'll tell you about on this first highlight. This is the very first play of the game, and you'll hear about him the entire night. Fluff Bothwell, 70 yards on the very first play of the game to the house. Early 7-0 lead. But the defense for Oneonta came to play too. This is Cameron Pendleton on the strip, and it is Josiah Coover on the recovery. A little bit later on, it is Abernathy rolling out, and Landon Abernathy would find Tegan Hill, and Hill climbs his way for a first down. A little bit later on, that will set up the second touchdown of the night. They just can't bring him down. Fluff Bothwell gets into the end zone for the touchdown, an early 14-0 lead for Oneonta. Moments later, once again, the hat trick in the first half for Fluff Bothwell, the third touchdown of the day, right in the middle, and it was all Oneonta today. Big plays. They used the running game. They used the passing game. You see Tegan Hill. You see Landon Abernathy, Fluff Bothwell. These guys absolutely got out to a fast start today and never looked back. Oneonta once again going to the semifinal round. 12-1 on the season after that matchup today with Deshler. Your final score, 62-21, guys.
Coach, they just keep doing it. Last year, Oneonta was really like this again. Didn't even have this good of a record last year. Kind of went into the playoffs as an also-ran. Nobody thought about them. Then they start beating Priceville. They start beating Madison Academy. Next thing you know, you turn around. They're playing in Birmingham in the Super 7. Here comes Oneonta again, and it goes back. A lot of what we talked about with Andalusia also applies to Oneonta. You know, Oneonta has won more high school football games than any team in this state's history. And when it gets down to the quarterfinals, and Deshler's won a lot of games too. Yeah. But recently, Deshler's been down for a few years. Oneonta, again, that tradition coming through tonight over in Blount County.
Yeah, and Deshler's trying to find their way back from where they've been. They're not where they have been before.
Right.
But this was a big year for them, a big step to get back to the quarterfinals. Oneonta's done been there and done that. I mean, there was not one person in that stadium that thought that Oneonta would lose tonight, players included. And it's a great place to go play. I've played there before, especially since they've added a turf. Now I see them with another jersey color. They wear more jersey colors than anybody in the country.
Coach, that is the best. I've been, as you all know from last week, I've been watching Oneonta all my life. That's the best Oneonta uniform I've ever seen. I love that uniform.
I mean, it's good looking. And, you know, but the people in that county, I know a lot of people outside of Oneonta despise Oneonta. Right. But they do everything, they do it the right way.
Yeah.
They're a city school, they've got money, but they spend that money. They don't hoard it.
Right.
I mean, they got a nice field house, they got a nice turf. I mean, the whole stadium's nice, but it's not just football. Everything they do is good.
Yeah.
All their programs are good.
Right.
And you've got to respect that they're good at what they do. And next week will be a war between them and Cherokee County. It's going to be a good one. And like I said, I might go after I get a taco.
Drive through taco in Piedmont on the way to Center. They
That's
find
right.
out you're going to Center, though, they might not let you have one.
You're exactly right.
That's for sure. Hey, and the thing about it is, the one thing that you didn't foresee coming is last week, as you mentioned, Etowah only lost to Deshler, but they lost to them by 3 points. Etowah had beaten Oneonta 31-7 at Oneonta. So you're thinking, wow, Deshler might not even just come in and win this game. There was a lot of people around the state that thought Deshler might come in and blow them out. Instead, they got blown out. And now they go to Cherokee County, a rematch. Going to be a great atmosphere. This will be as good as any high school football game, atmosphere-wise. And I think the game will be as well as we're going to see in the state of Alabama. We're rolling through the brackets now, our Oxford Festival of Lights brackets. And, boy, there were some games tonight in 5A. 5A had the games tonight, let me just tell you. We will begin in the South, where this was a rematch of a regular season game. Gulf Shores had beaten Faith Academy of Mobile in the regular season, but tonight they played again at Gulf Shores. Faith Academy wins over Gulf Shores 20-14. The best season in Gulf Shores history, the most points ever scored by Gulf Shores. Didn't matter tonight. Faith Academy wins. Charles Henderson last night, they win, knocking off #1 and unbeaten UMS Wright Prep. They played on the campus of Troy University last night at Veterans Memorial Stadium. On a Thursday game, UMS, they had a goal line stand. Charles Henderson stopped them at the 1-yard line with a minute to go in the game. Charles Henderson pulls the upset. They beat UMS Wright Prep 19-16. So next week, what a matchup. Faith Academy. I don't think anybody thought this would be at the two teams in the South. Faith Academy 11-2, ranked #9. Charles Henderson ranked #10 in the last poll at 11-1. The game will be in Mobile. The winner goes to the Super 7. In the North, we had more great games. All of these games tonight and last night in Class 5A were phenomenal. The Pleasant Grove Arab game went to overtime, double overtime. Pleasant Grove beating Arab 41-38 in double overtime. All the credit in the world. There may not be a guy, Lee Osment, if he hears this, will not like me saying this, but realistically, there may not be a guy from Arab that talent-wise could start from Pleasant Grove. But Arab goes into Pleasant Grove. Greatest season in Arab history, most points in Arab history. Lee Osment, the job he's done has been phenomenal. But tonight they fall in double overtime to Pleasant Grove, 41-38. Meanwhile, also there in Jefferson County tonight, just down the road at Legion Field, Ramsey was down, I believe, 19-6 in this game, and they came back with 21 unanswered, and they beat the Leeds Green Wave, who was ranked number 2 in the state. They beat them 27-19. So next week, here's another rematch in Class 5A. They played earlier in the season at Pleasant Grove. Ramsey won the game 21-14. This time they'll play at Legion Field next Friday night in Birmingham, an all Jefferson County matchup. Ramsey and Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove 11-1. Ramsey comes in at 11-2. Pleasant Grove for the 4th year in a row in the North Alabama Championship game, trying to make it to the Super 7 for the 4th year in a row as well. And that's your Oxford Festival of Lights Class 5A brackets. Time for our final, not only our final Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden extra point of the night, the final one of the year. Former Central Clay County and Wineville head coach Steve Giddens has been selected for induction into the AHSAA High School Sports Hall of Fame. Giddens became head football coach at Wineville in 1999, a position he held until 2011 when the school closed and merged with Clay County to form Central Clay County. His football teams had great success, going 128-45 with 2 state championship game appearances in 1999 and 2002. His teams had 6 semifinal appearances, won 6 region titles, compiled an 80-14 region record. He also coached the first football team at Central Clay County. Coach Giddens was also a very successful basketball coach at New Site, Randolph County, Clay County, and Wineville, including a state championship at Wineville in 1996. Congratulations to one of the good guys in the business, Coach Steve Giddens. Back with more of After the Game.
Hi, this is Kevin Riggin, General Manager here at Team 1 Chevrolet in Gadsden, and your local Chevy guy. I want to buy your vehicle today. Let me put an offer on your car and pay you right on the spot. I can get you in a new vehicle or put the cash in your hand for your vehicle. Either way, we can make you a great deal. Bring your vehicle to me here at Team 1 Chevrolet in Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period, and the most money for your ride.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC. When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston. The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
This is our last night to sit in these awesome chairs from Crawford Office Supply. They're going to come pick these up next week, and I'll bet you could go to Crawford Office Supply on South Layton Avenue in Anniston, right off Quintard, and say, I want that chair that Gerhard Mathangani sat in all year long. And I'll bet you, I know the folks at Crawford well, great folks, they will probably sell you that chair, and you can have the exact same chair that Gerhard and Coach Short sat in all season long. They'll be down there next week, along with a great selection of scratch and dent furniture, new office furniture, office supplies, janitorial supplies. CrawfordOfficeSupply.com is the place to go. Gerhard, we said we were everywhere tonight. We said we were in West Alabama tonight. Yeah. So we've got some highlights coming from Reform, Alabama. We mentioned in Class 1A the Pickens County Tornadoes, which they actually have, or at one time they did, an actual tornado mascot. I can't even explain it to you. I can't even explain. Oh yeah, I can't even explain it to you. I was at a game at Cedar Bluff when they were playing Pickens County in the playoffs, and the tornado came into the stadium at LD Bruce Field, and I have been amazed by that ever since. I will just say this: it's probably the most unique high school mascot I've ever seen, and I'm not sure this person is the actually official mascot of the Pickens County Tornadoes. But one thing about Pickens County is year in and year out in Class 1A football, never count out the Tornadoes. Michael Williams, the former Alabama tight end, the guy who caught the touchdown pass in the game of the century against LSU that didn't count, that got intercepted at the goal line. He's done a great job at Pickens County. And the Tornadoes tonight, here they are, back in the North Alabama Championship.
Yeah, and Coach and I are big New England Patriots fans, a little inside look, and he was a Patriot as well. So he played for Coach Saban and Belichick, two of the best, and now he's coaching one of the best programs in high school football. As John mentioned it, a staple of success. 7 straight years they made the quarterfinals, and 12 of the last 15 with a couple of blue maps in there as well. So nice run here. Let's go out to Reform. We knew that the winner of this one would take on Coosa Christian, so this one was a game of interest for us. After a turnover by Marion County, it is DeMarcus Giles finding Xavier Hood. Watch this catch here over the top of 2 defenders from Marion County. And just like that, Pickens County starts out with an early 7-0 lead. A little bit later on is Giles back to pass. This time he finds Zachary Boone all alone in the back of the end zone. An early 14-0 lead for the Tornadoes. But Marion County would get on the scoreboard via their defense. It is a pick 6 here, and it is by Marion County getting on the board. It is Dallas Floyd with the pick 6 there. Made it 14-7. Tornadoes with the football, or Tornadoes still with the lead. However, it is Pickens County that still comes away with the win today. And here's your final score, 40-14. So outside of that pick 6, they scored one more time. After that, it was all Pickens County. You saw the athletes briefly there in those highlights, and it looks like once again Pickens County has a really strong football team.
No surprise there. We had a lot of surprises tonight. That was not one. Pickens County had beaten Marion County 51-21 in the regular season. They met again tonight. Same result. Next week, Pickens County and our Coosa Christian Conquerors headed over to West Alabama to play in Reform for the North Alabama Championship in Class 1A. When we come back, we're going to give you every score and every matchup for next week in the state of Alabama, 1 through 7. And also coming up, you're going to meet our crack staff here. They're fantastic, and we're going to spotlight them just a little bit here on High School Football Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, Roanoke, and don't forget about our low price guarantee.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Pee Wee Turner Motors, South Quintard Avenue in Anniston. Visit them at peeweeturnermotors.net. The best place for used cars in East Alabama, 237-4649. Go see Lance Terra and all the folks on South Quintard Avenue in Anniston. Used cars, the market right now is changing every day. You need some experts in that that'll guide you through that. peeweeturnermotors.net. Pee Wee Turner Motors, proud sponsors from the very beginning of high school football Alabama. After the game. As promised, we're going to give you all the scores in the state of Alabama tonight and all the matchups coming up for both the semifinals and in 7A, the championship game. We'll begin in Class 1A. In the South, Leroy beats Brantley tonight 42-14. Milry wins at Sweetwater 41-6. Next week, the South Alabama championship game. It will be the Leroy Bears traveling to Milry to take on the Wildcats, and all Washington County matchup coming up next week in Southwest Alabama. In the North, Pickens County of Reform beat Marion County of Ewan tonight 40-14, and it will be Coosa Christian facing Pickens County. Coosa Christian tonight in Gadsden beating the Lynn Bears 46-29. Next week, Coosa Christian travels from Gadsden to Reform to take on the Pickens County Tornadoes. Class 2A, B.B. Comer tonight in Sylacauga beating the Reeltown Rebels 28-22. The Highland Home Flying Squadron shutting out defending state champion Clark County 19-0. So next week it will be Highland Home, the Flying Squadron, zooming into Sylacauga to face the B.B. Comer Tigers at Legion Stadium for the South Alabama Championship in 2A. In the North, 35-7 winners over Tuscaloosa Academy tonight at home. They will take on Pisgah. Pisgah beat Aliceville 26-22, a rematch of a regular season game that Fife won 40-6. This will be at Paul Benefield Stadium in Fife next Friday night. Pisgah and Fife in a rematch in the 2A North Alabama championship game. Class 3A in the South, St. James of Montgomery beat Thomasville 40-15. Mobile Christian over Pike County of Brundage tonight in Brundage 27-7. Next week, the South Alabama championship, St. James travels to Mobile to take on the Mobile Christian Leopards. North Alabama, another rematch coming. Sylvania beat Geraldine 27-7. Piedmont tonight 27-14 over Gordo. Next Friday night, it will be another rematch. Piedmont beat Sylvania 40-7 in the regular season at the Field of Champions. They will play next Friday night at Piedmont at the Field of Champions, Sylvania, and the Piedmont Bulldogs. Class 4A in the South, Andalusia comes from 21 points down to beat Anniston 35-28. Montgomery Catholic also came from behind to beat Hanley tonight 21-14. Another rematch. South Alabama championship game next week. Andalusia, Montgomery Catholic playing in Montgomery. Catholic won the first time at Andalusia 45-23. The South Alabama Championship on the line. North Alabama title, that championship will be decided in Center. Oneonta tonight beating Deshler 62-21. Cherokee County over Randolph 35-21. So another rematch. Cherokee County and Oneonta. The first time they played at Oneonta, Redskins won 17-14. Next Friday night, the North Alabama Championship game at Bobby Joe Johnson Field at Center. Cherokee County taking on the Oneonta Redskins. Class 5A in the South. Faith Academy of Mobile beating Gulf Shores tonight at Gulf Shores 20-14. Last night, it was Charles Henderson with a goal line stand at the end of the game to beat UMS Wright Prep 19-16. So next week it will be Charles Henderson of Troy. The Trojans travel to Mobile to take on the Faith Academy Rams for the South Alabama Championship in 5A. 5A in the North, double overtime tonight at Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove gets past a feisty Arab team, 41-38 in double overtime. Ramsey comes from 2 touchdowns down to beat the Leeds Green Wave tonight, handing Leeds their first loss, 27-19. Next week, another rematch. Pleasant Grove and Ramsey. Ramsey won the first time, 21-14 at Pleasant Grove. This game will be an all Jefferson County matchup, and that game will be at Legion Field in Birmingham next Friday night. We go to Class 6A in the South. This was another overtime game. Saraland beat Homewood 57-56 in overtime tonight at Saraland. Theodore shut out St. Paul's Episcopal 28-0. An all Mobile County final next week, as it will be Saraland and Theodore playing at Theodore again. A rematch of a regular season game. Theodore won the first time. They'll try to do it again to go to the Super 7. North Alabama in 6A. And we got this corrected now. Mountain Brook beat Hartselle 49-30. We corrected that Muscle Shoals Gardendale score. Muscle Shoals won over Gardendale tonight 38-7. So next week it will be Muscle Shoals and Mountain Brook. That game will be up at the Shoals for the Class 6A North Alabama title. The winner goes to the Super 7. And the Super 7 is set in Class 7A. This was the semifinals tonight. Auburn finally got over the Central hump. They win over Central Phoenix City tonight at Garrett Harrison Stadium in Phoenix City, 14-13. Thompson tonight got revenge. They lost to Hoover 9-0 in the regular season. Tonight they win at Hoover 40-10. So Thompson back in the state championship game looking for their 4th consecutive 7A title. They will take on the Auburn Tigers right there in their backyard. Folks, there may be 40,000 people on that Wednesday night for this game. Thompson and Auburn playing for the 7A title at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn Wednesday night, November 30th at 7 p.m. When we come back on After the Game, we're going to wrap things up for our part of the 2022 football season, and you're going to meet some outstanding and hardworking folks on After the Game.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cash Back account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. Noblebank.com. Member FDIC.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
Hi, this is Kevin Riggin, General Manager here at Team One Chevrolet in Gadsden, and your local Chevy guy. I want to buy your vehicle today. Let me put an offer on your car and pay you right on the spot. I can get you in a new vehicle or put the cash in your hand for your vehicle. Either way, we can make you a great deal. Bring your vehicle to me here at Team One Chevrolet in Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period, and the most money for your ride.
We are back on high school football, Alabama, after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Jon Holder, Gerhard Mathangani, Coach Michael Short. We have a lot of fun here, but as I'm a big wrestling fan, as one of the famous wrestlers says, if I could be serious for a moment, I'm going to be serious for a moment here. We have assembled an outstanding staff here. Most of these folks you don't see, you don't hear about, and they do such a phenomenal job. I think we've made this into the top video show in the state of Alabama on Friday nights after the game, and it's because we have such great people who are passionate and they love high school football in the off season. That guy right there, Gerhard Mathangani, coming to be with us that's a #1 draft pick. That's a lottery pick.
Yes.
And the same way with Coach Michael Short. Bringing Coach Michael Short on with us as well. These two guys have added so much. Our show, basically, if you watched us last year into this year, the show is completely different in a good way. And I appreciate these guys so much coming and having faith in what we're doing here at HSFA and after the game. And guys, I appreciate that very much. But we also have a lot of folks that work behind the scenes. And we're going to throw some names up here of some folks. A lot of these folks you may know, you may not know. But these are the folks that really make it happen. Our director, Jordan Smith, and I'm just going to tell you, these folks, beginning with Jordan, do so much more than just the title that I'm going to give them. They do so many things that are not even in their job title to make this show go. And Jordan Smith is at the top of that list. And Nathan Gober, same way. He is kind of our utility guy who handles everything here, setting up this studio, making sure everything works from a technical standpoint, and so much more. Ashley Gober, that's his wife. She handles the sound, and that's a problem with us. We are all it is a hard thing to do. She maybe has the hardest job keeping up with what we do, as wild and crazy as it gets here. Does a phenomenal job. Charlie Hinkle joined our staff this year, going out with me on Football Friday nights. And Charlie, photographer, also builds graphics during the week, and then comes in and a jack of all trades, doing all kind of things on Friday nights behind the scenes. He's been a great addition to our staff as well. A guy who has been with me as long as Gerhard has, I guess, maybe even longer. Yeah. He's not here tonight, but Amato Ortiz has been our score getter and our graphics person who enters these scores and gives you all these tidbits and all that. I can't even tell you what Amato Ortiz does and has done for this show through the last couple of years. A couple of folks representing Parker Memorial Baptist Church. And let me tell you, Parker Memorial Baptist Church has been a phenomenal partner of high school football Alabama. We could not ask for a better relationship. And the liaison between Parker Memorial and us is Don Gober and Steve Jones. Don Gober handles our guest, opening the door, letting folks in, coordinating chaos behind the scenes. And Steve Jones does the same thing as well. There's Steve right there. I can't even tell you what all Steve does. There's Ashley sitting there, and she'll wave at the camera for us perhaps. I can't even tell you what those folks do and what they mean to us. Don Wilson, Don won't come in and join us. Don goes out with me. He is my right-hand man and has been for years when we go out to the stadiums. He's the guy you'll see me with. And he won't come into the studio, but he's watching tonight. Don Wilson helps me in innumerable ways on Friday nights out at the stadium. Katie Edwards, she's the gasoline. that makes this thing go. I will promise you. She is our sales and marketing and social media coordinator and does a phenomenal job. You see Jordan Smith right there, our director. You see Charlie Hinkle in the background over there. Bailey, we had Bailey Morrison there. We're going to talk about Bailey here in a minute. Bailey Marsh, you see Coach Short, Gerhard, we talked about them. But Bailey there she kind of hit our Etowah County. All those Etowah County highlights, including Coosa Christian tonight. Bailey, I'm going to tell you something. You men out there who are watching and you think you know football, Bailey Morris will put you to shame. Her dad was Swain Morris, the former coach at Gaston for so many years, and now down at Pierce County, Georgia with the Bears, home of Stetson Bennett. Down there coaching the Bears in South Georgia. Bailey is our photographer and editor, does a great job. And we had some guys who we pulled into the bullpen this year to help us with some things. Kyle Rawton, Namath Pitts, Jamison Thacker, Chad Barnett helping us with shooting and with graphics when we had some people that were absent for different reasons. They filled in at times and did a phenomenal job helping us out with some shooting and some graphics works and things like that. There's Nathan Gober right there. Nathan, everything you see set up in here, this whole studio that you see, all the things in there, behind the scenes in our control room and in the studio, that was all basically, that's Nathan right there. You see Steve Jones again. You see our guy there, Charlie Hinkle, who helps me out on Friday nights and puts up with me on the sidelines taking notes. Jordan Smith once again there, and we're back on the set. I can't say enough about the staff we had. And all these folks are Christian folks, Christian people. We have so much fun here. We work hard. We said at the very beginning of the season that, guys, we're going to work hard, but we're also going to have fun. And I think we do that. We work very hard. Yeah. We also have a lot of fun on Friday night. Hope that comes across to you, the viewers. And thank you. If you see these folks out in the community, thank them for what they do. Guys, thank you for what you do. And we just want to thank everyone for, they told me to keep talking here. I'm not sure exactly why, but they want us to keep talking here. And so nonetheless, I want to thank everybody on the staff here. We don't have a chance to do that during the previous 13 or 14 weeks, but we want to take this last week. This will be our last show of the season, and we want to thank them for the job they do. Thank you for watching on Facebook and YouTube, and you have a very blessed weekend, and we will see you down the line on High School Football Alabama after the game.
Alabama Scoreboard is a production of Fairfax Garden Media.